I love the fact that I just saw a message pop up from you screaming at somebody going, "Don't delete Destiny 2!"
It's true though. You don't. Part of the install process will actually remove the old install.
Yep. It just made me laugh that you was like shouting at somebody in your band.
What I don't understand is why did somebody think that deleting it would make it go faster? That's the part that I don't.
The thing is, you've got to download it anyway, and it will install by itself. So if you once you part of the install process is to remove it anyway, it's not going to make it any quicker because it's just going to spend that time looking for the original install and not finding it.
Right.
And then people will go screaming, going, "It didn't work. I had to do it again." Be like,
but why would people delete them to begin with? Why is that a thing?
Because they think it makes it go quicker
somehow. Yeah.
Who though? Is this the same people that believe that you can microwave an iPhone to freaking make it charge faster? Is this that same group of people?
Oh, I'd pay to see somebody do that with a brand new iPhone.
These are the same people that think if you teabag the flag and Iron Banner, it'll capture the zone faster.
It did in Destiny 1, didn't it?
See, it's those people.
Hi guys, and welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast, a show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing the game even more. What makes us different? Well, for starters, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 info, news, and opinions. We do encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter, and that's the number 2. Now, on with the show.
So, as the other two haven't shown up just yet, do you think we should just kick off the show without them and just see what time they turn up?
See how far we can get?
Yeah. See how far we can get. So, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Night Demon, and joined, as ever, by Parody, our other Titan brethren. The two hunters are missing in the wild. One is searching for lore. One is probably still eating breakfast and brushing his fangs, as he puts it on a message to me a couple of days ago. So, let's kick the show off with Next Week in Destiny. Nobody's surprised about this. Beyond Light is releasing. So, if you're here, you know about Destiny, and you know that there's going to be an expansion to the game next week. But they just had to do a pop-up on the screen to tell us. So make sure that you've collected all your stuff before it enters the Destiny content vault. Yep, pretty standard there. Europa becomes available to all players. And they do give us the Nightfall this week coming up. So we can track the Fallen in the Exodus Crash Nightfall Ordeal. So that's going to be a really tough one, isn't it, for the first week where everybody's going to be under level. And those shanks, the electric fields, and that boss that just disappears over and over again. I'm having PTSD thinking about it, trying to level up and get my powerful drops. But you won't be caring about that, will you, Parody?
No. I actually played the game some this week, and I had all these big dreams. You remember talking about, I was going to get my Reckoner title and do all this stuff. Yeah, I haven't actually touched a second of Gambit since then because the world is crazy and work is crazy. So I decided to simplify my achievements for pre-Beyond Light and finish off my mountaintop. That, as Fusco said, great, you got it just in time for the nerf. You're correct, buddy. But more importantly, now I can have an opinion about it per respawn. So I have the gun, now I can have opinions. Haven't shot it yet, haven't fired yet, picked it up from Shaxx, and that's as far as I've gotten.
Okay. So this week, just do me a favor, before the weekend or the weekend ends, go and use it in like a Nightfall Ordeal. Just use it as your primary, and it'll be fantastic. And if you get a chance to go and do the dungeons, anything kind of that level of, good PvE content.
Yeah, anything PvE challenging.
Yeah, it's like having another exotic. It really is.
Yeah. I think that's what Fusco said. Is like, it's amazing. Or no, Andy said, "Quick, go mount some bosses." And that's I hope to get on hopefully this evening, this weekend, and just go use it a little bit, go play with it some, because I have a real good track record of acquiring weapons and then never touching them again. I did glance just briefly at how far am I from the Luna. It's like, no, you're still go get solar kills and then get headshots with hand cannons. Like, yeah, no, that's not happening. But I figure I got something done before Beyond Light ended. So, I'm sorry, before Seasons of Arrivals ended. So I'll take what I can get.
So that's it. That's what's happening next week.
Yeah, and that's the show. Thanks for joining us. It's been fun. Our show isn't ending, but Bungie rewards are ending. So
Yes.
Bungie again would like to remind you, Season of Arrivals is ending soon, very soon. Earn and claim your rewards Destiny to unlock the free emblems and offers for purchase in the Bungie store. Your Moments of Triumph shirt, which I need to order. Your raid ring if you've been raiding like crazy. Your sweet Prophecy hoodie, and more. So go to bungie.net/rewards. You'll need to log in with your console of choice. It will tell you what you've unlocked, and you can go buy all the pretty things. Or not. That's up to you. I won't tell you what to do.
So should we move into this week at Bungie for the 5th of November? Remember the 5th of November.
Indeed.
So again, they go over the Beyond Light launch trailer. If you want to go and have a look at that, we did link it last week. I can relink it this week if you didn't see it. Underneath that, they do give you the calendar for Beyond Light and what's happening for the next couple of months. So going beyond Christmas into the new year. We read it last week, so we won't go over it again this week. So there is an image out there, tells you roughly when things are coming up. We will remind you each week just before they come up, so stay tuned for what's going on. But they do get into some of the nice meat of what is happening next week with a patch note preview of what is coming up. So over the last few weeks, our goals have been to set expectations. We've covered Destiny Content Vault, upcoming sandbox changes, and Gambit tuning. These updates aren't mind-blowing, but overly game-changing. They're nice little morsels to chew on in the final days leading up to launch. In any case, we hope that you like the following quality of life appetizers before your meal is delivered on November 10th. So basically, they're just going to give us a few things to discuss now and expect a huge patch notes to be dropped just before the game launches on the 10th. So you'll be too busy playing the game and then going, well, why isn't this working? And then having to go read the patch notes, which is quite exciting. So archives, beginning on November 10th, 2 new kiosks will be available in the tower. First up, the quest archive will be found next to the postmaster. Their hope is to remove some of the confusion when trying to track down the odd quests that you've previously discarded. They're just kind of at various different vendors at the moment. So if you dismantle like something that's in your quest tab, you think it's gone to one vendor. Oh no, it's gone to a different vendor because you were on that quest step as you were progressing. So to save that confusion, they're just going to put it all in one location, a bit like what they did with Destiny 1 with these like little kiosks. Additionally, this will be the place for any veteran players to pick up new light quests on November 10th. So if you do have the desire to go and experience the new player tutorial for the reintroduction to the Cosmodrome, that will be where you can go and collect that from. Next up, the Monument to Lost Light Exotic Archive will be found by the Vault. So it looks like it's in the middle of the 2 vaults that are on the wall near the gunsmith. Here, players may acquire various exotics and legendary pinnacle and pursuit weapons that were once available through now retired quests. So you might be able to pick up things like your Luna's Howl, your Not Forgotten, your Mountaintops, if you haven't done those yet. As many of these exotics were tied to lengthy quests or difficult objectives, they wanted to make sure that their price reflected these previous efforts. Players will now need amounts of glimmer, destination materials, masterwork materials, and an exotic cipher, or an ascendant shard. And they're the big ones, aren't they? They're the big golf balls, I believe. Is that the ascendant shards?
I think so.
Just going to go and check my inventory.
I was just going to say, Dim is loading as we speak.
Where is it? Yes, it doesn't look like a shard. It's a golf ball, but it's an ascendant shard. So the ones that look like the golf balls. It's the prisms are the nice little things that you think would look like a shard, but never mind. So yes, one of the golf balls, you'd need one of those. Either or, don't know yet because we haven't got there. So you need that amount of stuff in order to purchase the exotic or legendary which is desired. They're also introducing a new currency because they're taking a lot of currencies away. So we need to get another one to be reintroduced. And this is exclusive to raids. This is going to be called Spoils of Conquest, which can only be acquired when completing raids. This currency will be required for exotics previously tied to vaulted raids. So if you haven't got your Terror, if you haven't got your Anarchy, things like that, this is where you're going to need to go to reacquire those items, but you are going to need some of the currency and some of the other bits. As soon as we get there, we can kind of detail and let you know what things do, but until then, it's a mystery.
This might be something you're getting to, but I had the same thought of, they're going to put a nice kiosk there. I'll need currency. I can go run and grab my, all the things I didn't get raiding so far in Destiny. No, the currency you're going to need comes from the raid. So still going to need to raid to get the old raid exotics. No way around it.
So in the past, the exotic ciphers were very limited in nature. I think we got one on the season pass, and we got one for doing that small quest to honor the employee from Vicarious Visions.
The Vicarious Visions, the In Memoriam quest.
Yeah, so apart from that, I think you can you acquire them? You couldn't acquire them before, could you?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's sort of where they came from, the past and things, because I was trying to remember. I know they were putting it in there just saying, hey, here's another way to get like exotics from Xur, but much like everything, they said, we're to sprinkle these out very lightly. Here's one. Come back next year for another one, children, like Halloween.
So while you can expect one to be available as part of the season pass, and I'm guessing that's going to be on the free track because there's no point in putting it just on the paid track. So anybody that is coming new to the game will get one free. Xur will also offer a quest to earn one exotic cipher on a weekly cadence. So that's quite good. So if you are a new player coming in, there are ways to kind of get these and buy some of the exotics from Master Rahul, the engram guy, because he has got like 3 or 4. But you need the cipher, I think you need some glimmer, and you need planetary materials for those as well. Do you want to do the next little bit?
Sure. Since we are moving on to some more traditional patch notes, we've got some things to talk about in the Crucible. As we've already mentioned a couple times, Trials of Osiris. Your power level requirement to get in is going to be 1210, so not a huge grind to get in there, but you can't just, pick up the game for one Game Pass free, jump in and be there trolling people all weekend. They're adding the adept weapons and weapon mod to the flawless chest rewards, and there's additional information linked in the TWAB, but we aren't going over it because we're never going to see those other than being shot by them many, many times.
Yes.
They've made some changes to the maps as well. They've added some physical blockers to some out-of-bounds areas on the Ultra, Flame, Exodus, Blue, and Cauldron. So if you've been, I'm going to assume jumping, flying around, perhaps as a Warlock, AC 130, maybe that's where they put the blockers in. So just be aware. Ultra, Flame, Exodus, Blue, and Cauldron, there may be places you could go where you can no longer go. They're now physical blockers.
So the best advice for that is go in and test it in a private match if you are messing about with out-of-bounds areas before you go into trials, and then you moan at Bungie at the weekend going, I wasn't able to do this because you've put this silly block in the way. So just go and test it first so you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, there's a wall and a door there now, and now I'm sad. Some player identity changes.
Ooh.
The login screens now have a dark background. Thank
that
you.
Is good.
That's possibly one of the best changes coming in Beyond Light. I remember even in Destiny 1, like the number of times I would get up early to go like run a Vault of Glass with the clan before work. And as you're like sitting bleary-eyed in front of my TV, I turn on and it's just like, sound that would start and the giant light. And even now it's like, it's the giant light. My entire room's illuminated. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So again, dark backgrounds. Not a huge thing, but a really nice little just quality of, my life change.
Oh, and mine. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was just saying my life as the player, not like in-game player, but, real life human who plays the game change. They've also updated the full screen menus to have a dark background style. So again, less eye blinding, playing in the wee hours, trying to finish that one last thing before the season resets or before weekly reset. Your player waypoints now display your season rank and HUD waypoints. And they added a toggle functionality on the character screen, allowing the player to choose between the light and dark subclasses. So character screen visuals will be updated on player choice between light and dark. So we are, really getting light and dark subclasses, plural, more than one.
Yeah.
This is, the divergence is beginning.
I think if you look in the video, when they do select from going from light to dark, the screen darkens in the background where your player stands with the sparrow. So yeah, it's quite interesting that they've chosen to do that as well. It's nice and subtle.
I just love the idea of having more dark subclasses. We've been, I remember the theory in D1 about we're the evil. It's all these aliens are the good guys and we're the bad guys. So I don't know. Curious to see if
about that.
I'm just curious to see if there is any hint of that anywhere, or if Bungie just plays with that at all. Your character creation, they've changed the selection from male and female to masculine and feminine. The Guardian head and hair models have been replaced with improved versions. And several color swatches have been changed to better represent the applied color, and players' previous selections are still used. So they haven't changed your character. If your character you liked how it looked.
I think Respawn's going to cut in here. I'm going to cut in for Respawn. Respawn's going to go, my character's completely changed its look. I don't like it. But Respawn, we haven't got there yet. I know, but I'm still angry. Moving on.
No. Yeah, so what Bungie is saying is they're not going to change your character, but if you've been trying to apply that certain shade of, green, pink, blue, whatever, and it's not quite the color you thought it was, hopefully it should look better now. And check your hairs. They should be better. Some just miscellaneous fixes. They fixed a bug that prevented online friends from showing up in the roster on Stadia for players with more than 100 friends. So, Stadia players, you can now have more friends. They fixed a bug that occasionally prevented players from earning progress on bounties when joining an activity in progress. That's how it got through most things. Come on, that's what you do. You see who's in an activity, you jump in on them and go, "Hi, I'm here to help," and get the rewards. The most notably impacted Iron Banner bounties could cause players to have their artifact power bonus enabled during the Iron Banner matches. So hopefully that should be a fix for the Iron Banner players running around with massively increased power than the rest of us. And there's a few sandbox changes that have somehow missed the sandbox preview. They fell out. They were hidden under a sandcastle. The Traveler's Chosen, they've reduced the muzzle flash intensity.
That's nice.
So our Point of the Stag, the Point of the Stag's max power level is now 1310. Which I think isn't Point of the Stag an exotic, or am I mistaking it for something else?
No, it was the Iron Banner reward, the pinnacle reward for a season.
That's right.
But because it came a season later than some of the other ones, that's people moaning, saying, well, why isn't it, the light been brought up to reflect when it would expire? So Bungie have now done that.
That's right. That was the bow. I was thinking of the Warlock exotic. Right. Yeah, that was the Point of the Stag combat bow they gave us for Iron Banner.
Yeah.
That's right. Your Divinity, they fixed a bug that prevented some weapons from dealing precision damage to the Divinity Cage, such as Ariana's Vow. The Hunter Dodge, they've increased the Hunter Dodge cooldown by a few seconds. So an example, your Tier 4, your old cooldown would have been 22 seconds. It's now 26 seconds. So not a massive change. And again, we were talking earlier about, I think it's just to stop people from just absolutely being able to spam, Hunter blink abilities all day, every day. So they've made it a little slower, balanced it a bit, but I'm sure this is where Respawn will scream for 15 minutes about them changing his Hunter and ruining the game for him.
Yeah. I mean, when I was listening to DCP earlier today from their recent podcast, they were saying that they hope that with the different tiers, because they give the example of Tier 4, the old cooldown is 22 seconds and the new cooldown is 4 seconds longer, so it's 26 seconds. So if it was respective of each tier, is it just 4 seconds in each tier that it's kind of then knocked back to see how much you reduce by? If it kind of scales and maybe it's 4 seconds and then 3 seconds, 2 seconds extra for how high you go up with the different tiers. Until we get there, we don't know. But like you just said, it's mainly, I think it's going to be mainly for people kind of spamming that blink ability. They were saying on DCP, a lot of people run I think it's 6 Coyote and a couple of other exotics to kind of get their double dodges. And you can kind of dodge so fast in the game if you're really good. So this will kind of bring them back in line with kind of, I think, how it's meant to be, not kind of with all the different mods and spamming and different abilities. So yeah, Respawn will probably drop in at some point later on and have a complete meltdown. Don't know whether we'll leave it in or not.
Only time will tell. just like our anti-champion mods. The anti-barrier rounds will now penetrate the taken phalanx's shields, and all anti-champion mods have now been shifted to armor rather than taking up a weapon slot. So I know there was some question about this one on the Ariana's Vow. So does that mean, because that had the sort of the inherent ability to do the anti-barrier breaking that I assume will now stay the same?
Yeah, because I think that the way that it works at the moment is each season we get a very different weapons, don't we, that we can put these perks on. So sometimes it's hand cannons, sidearms, sometimes it's submachine guns, sometimes it's auto rifles, things like that. Each season's going to be different. So if you have like the Ariana's Vow with that ability on one of the weapons, you could then potentially put, say we get scout rifles next season, put that on your arms, and then you've got you can have two weapons with the same ability because it's an exotic, and then any scout rifle, so that's any exotics that it would work on as well.
Can't go wrong with that.
No.
And the orbs of light have been changed to orbs of power, so that they can now be consumed by both the light and the dark subclasses. Although I do think it'd be kind of funny if you try to use an orb of light as a dark subclass and it took some of your super away, or did some damage to you, or infected you in some way.
You know that's coming. You know that version is coming. And it's going to be a mechanic in a raid that, somebody has to run dark, somebody has to run light, and you can't pick up other people's orbs unless you're that same subclass. It's going to be a raid mechanic in a couple of years' time.
Or possibly the Deep Stone Crypt. We'll see. They were already, sort of playing with light and dark in the Prophecy Dungeon, and I wonder if, again, they're clearly going down the path of light and dark as just a game mechanic, class, everything. So, get used to, light and dark changes. You need to run light, you need to run dark, you need to have some light weapons, some dark weapons. It's going to be interesting to see how they play with that.
Yeah.
And again, this week, before we end our patch note preview, we do want to call out to the collectors among you who have been talking about the impending removal of the expired ramen coupons from your inventories. We know this one stings a bit. It's a byproduct of us cleaning up our inventory systems and doing some general maintenance. We do want to provide you a parting gift, because before these coupons are tossed into the bin, these coupons can't be redeemed for spicy ramen, but they can just decorate your desktop for as long as you desire. And they have given you a full 4K spicy ramen coupon. Beautiful background to use on all the screens in your life. So if you're still mourning the spicy ramen loss, here's a beautiful background. Use it always.
It's not about the background. We don't want the replacement. We want the ramen ticket in our inventory in the game. Now, I think it should have been moved to collections so that it's like a ghost.
So you can re-pull it.
I can re-pull it out when I want to look at it, and then maybe it expires after 24 hours. Maybe it's something silly like that. Like you can pull it out, put it in your inventory, and it expires after 24 hours. We don't want a 4K resolution background.
Oh, you know what we do want though? We want
turn it into a consumable.
Yes, we want a spicy ramen to combat the frozen abilities of stasis.
Yes.
If you want to not be frozen by stasis, get your spicy ramen coupon. Use it. It'll last for 30 minutes. It'll make all stasis abilities decrease by X amount, or make half. The ice
half.
Quicker.
Yeah. There we go. It decreases the abilities by half.
Spicy ramen because you've got spicy ramen and you've got stasis, light and dark, spicy and frozen. Come on, guys, make this happen, Bungie.
Yeah. That would make sense. You eat your spicy ramen, you've warmed up your tummy, so that if you're going to fight in a Crucible match, somebody freezes you with stasis, and your timer is halved. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant idea. We're going to patent it. We're going to copyright it. It's ours.
Or just give it to Bungie for free. Bungie, here, use this. Take it, please.
Yes.
We can't do anything with it. You can.
Yes. Give us back the spicy ramen tickets.
Spicy ramen consumable.
Have it down at where we collected it in the first place, opposite Ikora. We have to go to the ramen kiosk to pick them up. I'll throw Glimmer at them. I don't mind.
Yeah, I'll throw most anything at them because that would just be super fun.
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten through our spicy ramen, are you ready for November?
Yes. Seeing as we're already in November.
It sort of seems like they're trying to give us some sort of Sweet Business hint, because Sweet Business goes brrr, and then you run out of bullets eventually.
So there's new stuff in the Bungie store for you to go and look at. The fluffy boots look interesting. I'm interested in fluffy boots, although I don't know if I'd be able to wear them. I think I'd want to keep them pristine in a cupboard. I wouldn't want to get them dirty.
I just sort of assumed the fluffy boots would not fit me because I have large feet, as I am a large person. No, they do go up to US size 13, so there's a chance. But if my fluffy boots don't fit, can I send them back? That's the real question.
Yeah. There's a record of some Destiny music, some Christmassy jumpers, and just for Blue Screen 42, they've made you an exclusive, the statue of the Drifter.
All right.
Mm-hmm. There's
just for you, buddy.
There's a part of me that wants to order one of them and send it to his house, and I don't know if I'm going to return to sender with the box unopened.
He send it back to you, and the little head will be just like on the side on the floor.
Because I think this is like a 10-inch statue. Like, this is a serious statue. This isn't a little guy you can put in your corner. He's sort of a you put him in the room and everyone's going to notice. Oh, it's so good. So starting November 9th, after the upgrade, your arsenal of collectibles and gifts at the Bungie store, are going to be there. You also get some free emblems for purchasing things. You'll also get the Beyond Light original soundtrack. So the Cosmic Alignment emblem is going to be available. It's lovely. Looks planety. Lots of good orange going on there. Between Stars looks like they've cracked an engram open, and there's little engrams inside, very purple, very like honeycomby, hexagony. And the Shattered Harmony is looks like a nice gambit green with again more honeycomb. I'm sensing a real honeycomb theme here. I think there's hexagons and bees going to come attack us here at some point. So yeah, just three new emblems for buying things. So if you're say Night Demon and have to collect all the emblems, here's some more for you to add to your collections.
Some of the ones, if you have to purchase something, I'm very, very rarely do I get them, because yeah.
So there's a limit. There's a limit to
there is a limit.
Yeah, there have been a lot of ones they've done through, buy anything from the store for this period and you get, and unfortunately there isn't like a, buy this single of music for $1 or something. So yeah, a lot of those I'm sure people have missed out on if they're trying to collect all of them, because I feel like every time they do a refresh or an event or a charity something, there's always an emblem to go with it.
I'm messaging the late one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I kind of looked at 6 a.m. to see if he was here waiting for us, and didn't see him here in the wee hours. So
no, it's very strange not to see him here first.
Yeah, I was like, we did say 8, right? We did say 8 o'clock, 8 Eastern, 1 UTC.
Unless he turns up in 5 hours time at 1 p.m. for you.
Yeah, in which case I'll say no. You didn't read the whole thing clearly. Also, time zones.
So, Parody, there's some maintenance and preload stuff that's going on, because there seems to be a little thing that's happening next week before we have the server shut off, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a little something. I mean, I don't know what it could be. There's nothing really going on in the game right now. So, we do have update 3.0.0.1 coming to us, which I assume will, right after we get 3.0.0, which is Beyond Light, which is, again, as a reminder for everyone, you're re-downloading the entire game. Bungie has said, do not delete the game first. That will not make things better. That will not make things quicker. Don't delete the game. But, it is a big, massive download, and they do have the sizes out there of what you'll need to re-download. So 3.0 is Beyond Light, the game, and 3.0.0.1 is going to be our first patch. So next Monday, maintenance for 3.0.0.1 begins. And again, November 9th. Wait, is this the same exact thing that we've been talking about for days and days?
No, what they seem they're going to do. They're going to do a mini update before they do the big update.
So Are giving us 3001 before they give us 300. Got it.
Yes.
That makes sense. Very clear. Very good.
So what's actually so what actually happened this week is that accidentally there was an email sent out to people that play Destiny.
Also,
No.
I slept through both of my alarms and literally woke up just now when somebody went, Respawn podcast on my phone. And I was like, who's buzzing me? And I look over and I see you. I'm like, oh my God. What's what's wrong? I'm like, the podcast.
My renown.
That's why it sounded like I just woke up. Just literally just did. That's also why it sounds like I'm going through puberty right now.
Go get your coffee, go get your breakfast, and come back and
None
join
of
us.
that's going to be ready for a while. So
No, go and do that, because Arf will be here later to give us some lore.
what I'm saying is the wife is still feeding the baby. So all that stuff you just said is not going to happen. But I will maintain silence.
You're a grown human male person that could actually go and get his own food.
I could do that. Yes. But I've been cooking breakfast for the last few days, and I'm not going to do it today, just out of principle. So not.
Mm-hmm. So it said, yes, Guardians, you have less than 1 week to finish your rank levels and claim the rewards from Season of Arrivals. Be sure to catch the finale of the season and see the conclusion before Beyond Light releases. For more information on what's coming, read the new This Week at Bungie now. So there was a lot of confusion with this email that kind of gone out to people because in the TWAB they didn't detail anything about what's happening at the end of the season. So poor old Luke Smith, our lovely game director, had to go on Twitter and clarify what's actually happening. So somebody said, is there an end of season event? And he says, we have a small event to close out the Season of Arrivals. We wanted it to be a surprise, but an email accidentally mentioned it. It's nothing too crazy. Just a little time to chill in the tower before the lights go out. See you soon. So a lot of people were thinking, maybe this is going to be very similar to what happened with Fortnite. I think they had like a big cataclysm event where a meteor hit the playable space and the servers just completely shut off for, I think it was 24 hours, something ridiculous like that. So maybe it's going to be something like that we'll all be in the tower, we'll be looking at something. We get a communication from wherever. Something happens. I'm not going to spoil it because there was something else that somebody said. So if you want to go and see what happens, be in the tower on reset on Monday. And maybe the servers will just shut off just after that.
Yeah, we'll see, because we are having that huge long downtime that, again, giant, massive downtime. Whatever you're trying to do, finish it by the 8th, finish it by Sunday, which you won't hear this by then. But if you haven't heeded our prior warnings, you just have no one but yourself to blame. We've warned you. We've told you. Bungie has told you.
Speaking of warning, I went through and remember how I told you guys I had all the bounties on all my characters done?
Mm-hmm.
Well, last night I was with the PC crew and we're talking about getting ready for the raid and this and that and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And me and the other guy are like, oh yeah, no, we got all these bounties and whatnot and this and that and the other. And the guy's like, aren't you just going to shoot yourself in the foot? And I'm like, what are you talking about, Kitty? His name's Kitty, by the way. I'm like, what you talking about? He goes, well, let's say, for example, you turn in all the gunsmith bounties, right? Or all the crucible bounties from last season. Well, it's going to give you a piece of gear, but it's not going to be powerful because it's from last season. And I'm like, what? Right? And then he goes through and explains all this stuff. And
Respawn.
What?
When you joined us last week, when Nix was here,
yeah,
I went through this all with you because you said, here's this thing that Fuzzco has sent me about how to do different things. And I said, no, you can't do that.
Right.
Because if you turn in one bounty, it will affect all the other things that you get from Gunsmith. And you went, oh my God, I didn't realize, blah, blah, blah. I told you a way around that. So why are you acting like you don't know?
Because I was half paying attention because I was in the airport. And I heard you say some bounties weren't worth it, right? Like the planetary bounties, which is why I never collected those, right? But I didn't know it was more than just those, But
there's a way around it. You haven't turned them all in, have you?
I had literally 0 slots available, and they're like, you need to turn in the new bounties, and then and I was reading what you said, what you said in the chat, because somebody pointed out that you listed something in the chat, and you
I
said
listed everything I told you, basically.
Yeah. And you said turn in all the new ones first and then turn in the old ones. Well, you can't turn in new ones if you don't have any slots to pick up the new ones, right? If you're full, if all 63 slots are full of bounties that you have to turn in, you can't pick up more bounties. So I had to make space for the new bounties so that I can turn those in and then turn in some of the old ones. I still have a page and a half full of bounties. I've only got like 10 slots at the end for new bounties. The rest is reserved for just collecting XP at the end. You know? Yeah. So I had to go and make those corrections and whatnot, but it did tilt me a little bit. I'm like, son of a biscuit, you know? And I knew you were going to scold me for it too. And I knew by telling you this, I was stepping into a scolding. But, you know, it's just, I had to. Because, you know, you did say it, and I should have been paying more attention. Darn getting on a plane, right?
You stepped into a war with Night Demon.
And I was vastly unprepared. But yeah, so...
Half the reason that we do this podcast is to inform you of what's going on and making sure that you're on the right path. If you don't listen to the podcast when we're telling you things on the podcast, it doesn't help. Because I know you don't listen to it like about 6 weeks later, which is not going to help you 6 weeks later.
Okay, so as I've spoken to you about this many times before, I do listen. Listening isn't the problem.
Retention.
The ability to retain the information.
Oh, God. So does this mean we're going to go through the same thing next week when you go, I've turned in these bounties and I've messed myself up? It is. No. It's going to be exactly the same thing.
Because before I turn in bounties, I'm going to be like, Demon, this is what I have.
Demon's not going to be there for you.
This is what I need.
You may be familiar with Pan service. This is a new service we're actually going to offer for our top tier Patreon members. Of 19 will hold your hand, share your screen with him, and he will walk you through exactly which bounties you should and should not put in.
I'll be a Patreon to our own podcast. Hold up. Where do I sign up?
We will send you a British man remotely who will walk you through and make you feel good about your life choices and changes in destiny. He will tell you exactly what to turn in, not to turn in, and what you should keep, and scold you in only the most British of ways if you have screwed up.
And not just that, but when to turn it in, right? Like, no, you need to turn in. You need to go do the dungeon after you've done everything else. But why would you do that? Because that's a tier 2 powerful gear, and you want to get that for last to really bump your line up. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Thank you. See, things like that.
I do not speak like that.
Oh, no, wait, no, you don't speak like that?
I speak like this.
Speaking of Phoenix, all right, I need to give a shout out to him because last week, I don't know how much he cut me out because I didn't listen to it yet, right? But while I was there, I was kind of listening in on Phoenix, and Phoenix, he did a great job, in my opinion, of replacing me. And again, I don't know how much he cut out, but like in the very beginning, Phoenix just started yelling random stuff. And Demon is like, Phoenix, you don't need to yell. And he said, but I'm replacing Respawn. And I texted, this kid is a freaking natural.
It was scary. Listening back and editing it, how much it was like you when we initially started the podcast.
I know!
It's like the shouting, the random stuff. I'm going to tell you a joke here that makes no sense. I'm just going to tell you something else that makes no sense. And just randomly talk over parody, which was... It was a nightmare to edit, but, you know.
On brand.
I am working on the whole interrupting thing. I'm working on it, right? Can't do much about the audio, but I'm working on the interrupting thing. Okay. But, yes, just...
And I must make an apology.
Phoenix. Great job.
I've got to make an apology to the guy that did the review and said, you know, he wishes that Respawn didn't interrupt as much. I then go and replace Respawn with an even worse version of Respawn the following week. So I must apologize for that.
Be careful what you wish for.
That was amazing. Yeah. We're trying to work out something special for the Centennial. I don't know if we mentioned it to y'all, but if we didn't, I'm not going to spoil it.
No, I just keep cutting it out.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Just in case we don't do anything, and it's just
a normal
episode.
No expectation, no delivery.
So where were we before you came in and derailed us? Oh yeah, so like this world event thing. So we'll have a couple of hours.
No, that's a good question. Sorry, where are y'all in the TWAB?
We are at the bottom.
We are right at let's talk maintenance and preloads. We were about to talk about the update 3001
Oof.
time frames.
Yes,
We did do
So
Oh, so
we're
you've
just
already
telling
done
people that
November
on the reset on
then, right?
Monday. I'm
Okay.
guessing it's going to be Monday for us, Tuesday for the
Okay, cool.
Australians. So this is going to be the one before the servers go off. So there'll be a regular update, and you'll have a couple of hours. I think you guys. I think we have it's about 6 hours before it's completely shut off because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning for us. So there'll be some time between the reset and the game actually being turned off that something's going to happen. Now, hopefully, it's just going to be after reset. If I log into the tower and go there after an hour, say, and it's an event or a cutscene specifically for me, I'll be quite happy. But if I have to sit in the tower like I did last time and see if there's something happening, I'm not going to be happy because I don't want to log into the tower and just sit there.
You're a busy man. You've got things to do. You have people to walk through step by step which bounties they should keep and delete.
No.
But you actually do though.
Your day one raid race is going to be everyone and Night Demon to be like, oh, that's wrong. No, do this here. No, put that there.
Oh dear, Parody. Where were we with the update times?
Yeah, so we are getting on Monday. We have a maintenance window for 3.001, and I'm not doing all the time zones because I didn't prepare. And Australians, it's the next day for you,
right?
So
somebody
on Monday,
put the time zone in our band chat. You can link it,
in which I just put in our thing here. But that's for the Beyond Light release times, not for the actual
my bad
pre-day maintenance, the pre-gaming. Which this one we went over last week, but I'll put it it's in the podcast info, so we can dump in the show notes because it is a nice visual. Here's when things start and stop in daylight savings times because the world is dumb. So November 9th, that's Monday, 3:30 p.m. Pacific. So that's 6:30 for us on the East Coast, 11:30 UTC or 23:30 UTC because they believe in 24 hours. And Australia, the next day, midday. Background maintenance for 3001 begins. Half an hour later. In preparation for the downtime, everyone gets kicked out of everything. So by 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 0000 UTC. So when the time ends. In Australia, 14 hours later, you get kicked out of activities. 6:50 Pacific, 9:50 Eastern, about 2:50 in the morning UTC. Sign on to D2 will be disabled. 10 minutes later, Destiny will be brought offline for maintenance. Everyone, again, gets kicked out of activities if you weren't in an activity still, and you won't be able to log back on until 9 a.m. Pacific on November 10th. So basically, Monday, you're done. Stop playing the game. Finish what you're doing. 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 11:30 in London land. Finish what you're doing. 3001 maintenance begins. At that point, you better be real close to what you're trying to finish because you don't have much time left. Because when the game goes offline, it goes offline. And it will be down until November 10th at 9 a.m. on the Pacific Coast, noon on the U.S. East Coast, 5 p.m. in London, and 4 a.m. in Sydney. And we'll put a link in the show notes that someone on the Destiny 2 Discord has put together on Beyond Light release times across the world. If your time wasn't mentioned, it's in there somewhere. Figure out your window. And then things don't come back online until November 10th at 12 Pacific, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC, and Australia. And then just as a reminder, when the game does go offline and they do make these patches available, that's when you start downloading the game. So you can start downloading the game during this big, long downtime, your 14 hours of downtime. This is when you download your game. Preload for Beyond Light Update 3001 will be available prior to the game's release. So beginning November 8th at 8 p.m. Pacific, which is 11 Eastern, 4 a.m. UTC, and midday Australia, users can start downloading the update by going to D2, pressing the options button, and checking for updates on PlayStation, Xbox, same thing. Preload for Xbox will begin shortly after the game is taken offline after 7 p.m. Pacific, 3 a.m. UTC on November 9th. And they'll have instructions on how to set the auto update if you haven't already in the show notes. And PC, do what you guys need to do. Steam should do its thing. So again, when the game goes offline, it will update itself. Now your storage requirements. Bungie again has said, do not delete Destiny 2 off your console, off your PC. Don't delete it before you re-download it. They said this will not speed up the process. But if you're on the Xbox Series S or X, you're looking at about 65 gigs of space. PS5, you're going to need about 70 gigs of space. PS4, you will need 171 gigs of space. And the reason for the PS4 massive need is the Destiny 2 install size is 70 gigs. You're going to need 170 gigs for the PS4 because your current install is D2 at 100 gigs plus the update preload at 70 gigs. So 171 gigs of space. So PS4 folks, you might need to delete all the things. Xbox One, 65.5 gigs. Same thing as the Series S and X. And PC folks, you're looking at about a 70 gig D2 install, but your storage space is going to be 186 gigs because the PC includes your current installed version of D2, which can be as big as 116.5 gigs, plus your preload for Beyond Light and 3001 at 69.7 gigs, so almost 200 gigs on the PC.
Ouch.
Woo!
Again, it's in the Twilable link in the show notes, but that's a lot of space.
And that
And
right
a lot
there,
of-
ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen, is why I have a 2 terabyte additional hard drive inside my desktop just for games and nothing else.
So I'm gonna guess it's because of I can't remember what the Xbox calls it their we update smarter system. Because the Xbox, the install size is the size you need.
Mm-hmm.
And PS5, same thing. But then PS4 and PC, you need, basically the new space and the old space all at once. I assume that number will go down once it's installed, but they don't say that here, so I'll let you folks figure that out. But yeah, just be aware if you may need to clear some space if you're installing this.
Yeah. But I tell you what, something that Bungie have helped you with there, because they've cleared some space and put stuff in the Destiny content vault for the end of the season of Arrivals. And if you didn't know, the start of Year 4 and the introduction of the Destiny content vault on November 10th, certain items will be deprecated from players' inventories that correspond to vaulted destinations, activities, and campaigns. Players should review our help article. Well, hopefully you have, and hopefully you've got all this stuff done already. But additionally, certain titles will become legacy seals and unavailable to earn at the start of Year 4. These seals are A Shadow Rises, Shadow title, Reckoner, Reckoner title, Black Armory, Blacksmith, Destinations, Wayfarer, Law, Chronicler, Undying, Undying, Dawn, Saviour, Almighty, Almighty, Arrivals, Forerunner, Moments of Triumph 2020, MMXX.
Are you having a stroke?
No, I'm just reading out all the seals and the title that goes along with them.
But no stroke.
Nope.
Okay.
So players should be sure to equip the following titles before November 9th at 7 p.m. PST. That's 3 o'clock in the morning UTC. I think that's about 2 a.m. for the UK. If you don't do that, they will be unavailable to earn. So basically, go into it, click it to say, yes, it's working, put it on a character, then you can change it back over to something else. It's just making sure that you've clicked the button to say, yes, you've acknowledged you've got this. Along with, any triumph that you've earned recently, go in, all those little badges that are flashing at you, click on all of those because that might bump your triumph score up. Just get rid of them, get it all sorted and get it done before the reset on Monday. So you're not worried about it.
Yeah, claim all the things or they'll go away and then you'll be sad.
Like the Bungie rewards. They're going away respawn as well.
Oh.
So with the release of Beyond Light on November 10th, certain Bungie rewards will no longer be available to earn. These include the Eclipse Sunset and the Sunset Emblems, the Year of Shadow Keep artifact coins, the Moment of Triumph t-shirt, the Raid Ring, the Prophecy Dungeon hoodie, and the MMXX seal and Forerunner seal. Players should be sure to earn these rewards by November 9th at 7 p.m. PST. and claim these rewards from the Bungie rewards page before November 13th. So you've got until next Friday to kind of sort that out if you do earn them.
Yeah, claim all the things, do all the things. And don't be like Parody. And if you have an entire, infamy rank or glory rank or something sitting there for reset, claim that before the season ends. Otherwise, you lose it. Bad. And that's the TWAB. That's it.
TWAB.
Beyond Light is Beyond Light's very close.
That's the TWAB.
Within our grasp of Malak.
Oof.
Which Night Demon is already farming for in his head.
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
Arf. Sad little Arf.
So I see you've put a bunch of actually before we get to that, actually we can keep that for our tips, tricks, builds, and guides. And actually, do you have many this week, or shall we mention our farewell to our buddy Greg now?
Who?
Greg. Greg is going away.
Greg who?
Greg the Ogre.
Wow.
Oh, Greg.
The thing that I misspoke who like the night was.
Not Chad. Chad, I assume is still here, yeah.
I kept calling the unkillable, Knight Greg or whatever. Yeah. The actual Greg is going away. No more test dummy for us.
Yeah, Greg the Ogre is also going to go into the vault with the rest of Titan. So I see you've also put a bunch of you put some human minds and mechanical bodies. Night Demon, you're at the cusp of major breakthrough, making this a reality.
No. So this was something that was posted on Twitter from Destiny the game, and it looks to be a small little trailer for the raid. This is what people are saying anyway, and it's literally security cameras around an area that we're probably going to explore. Not sure whether it's the Deepstone Crypt or whether it's on Europa or whether it's both. But it looks like Clover Spray exoscientist skeletons stuff. And towards the end of the video, it zooms in on an exo that's just like motionless. And then as it kind of cuts in various little flicks, it's only like a 60-second trailer. It goes from an exo that's just got glowing white eyes to a red background with a red glow underneath it, and then finally the kind of this dead exo with bits hanging off and its skull kind of exposed before it kind of the TV kind of shuts off, or the security cameras shut off. I thought it's quite interesting.
So it is the crypt, right? If you look, it's chronological sequence, right? Crypt when it opened, got the exo all light and shiny. And then the crypt, when it closed, you have the exos that were going crazy. And then you have the dead exos in the crypt that were killed, right? So it's chronological. Obviously, this is the Deepstone Crypt. Can't be anything else. I'm just saying words.
Obviously. Respawn says it's so, it's obvious.
Glad you agree. Now,
so we have to liberate our brethren from the crypt. That's what I'm hearing.
No, that one is dead. There's no liberating that.
Robots never die. They can be rebuilt stronger, better, faster, angry.
So where's Kate 6 then?
Not in the crypt.
No. Also this week, did you guys know that there was another ARG that went live for Destiny?
I don't know what AIG is.
Alternate reality game. I did hear that because Pam was texting me that people who ordered the the collector's edition got a code or a URL link that went live, and there's sequences or something that he was telling me about.
So apparently anybody that ordered the physical collector's edition, you got like lore books and pages and things. And in that, there were certain different codes. And this ARG went live on, I think it's on the Bungie website. And you enter your code, and then you're kind of part of the sequence. There was a bit of an error at the beginning of the week, and Bungie had to reset it, but it's all kind of working now. So if you own the physical collector's edition, somewhere in there, I'm not entirely sure, there is a code that you can go and enter and be part of this community that are trying to solve this puzzle. And Paul Tassi over at Forbes on DCP this week said that he thinks that it's probably going to be lore pages, because in the physical collector's edition, the lore book that you get, there it looks like there's pages that have been torn out that kind of complete the story of Clovis Bray. So it's possible that it is just kind of more lore that's going to be released just before Beyond Light, or it could be something else. But he doesn't think it's going to be on the grander scale of like the Bastion, where we were kind of trying to figure out the different puzzle and go and run through the different maze. It's not as big as that. It's just kind of this little thing, because it doesn't involve the whole community, because you had to have pre-ordered this physical thing, which is a bit of a pain. But
so would it be one of those things like out in the real world they found an actual thing?
No, that was a different game that they were playing.
No, for hold on.
Yeah, but I mean, they've done stuff like that before. I mean, Bungie has a long history of this with the I Love Bees stuff they did with Halo. So yeah, I mean, there could very well be a physical component to this. We're sort of assuming not, because it's sort of limited to these collector's editions and it's just another puzzle to solve. But yeah, I mean, there could be a physical component. We don't know yet, because they're still working on it. Are they? Is it the raid secrets?
Yeah.
Reddit where they're so on Reddit, the raid secrets Reddit is the ones usually again diving into secrets and puzzle solving. I know they were the ones, that community was real involved with the puzzles around running through the thing with Saint 14 and figuring that whole thing out. So that's where the nerds are putting their collective brains together. So if you do have this and are interested, go submit your code or link or whatever it is you need to do and help them solve whatever this is, or sit back and wait for them to do the hard work and then go, oh, cool.
Speaking of nerds, welcome to the show, Not Arf.
Oh, he just called you a nerd.
He's our law nerd.
Nerd.
He's not listening to you.
Damn it.
No, he's not even here. He just popped in and buggered off.
Buggered off.
Hello. I can't hear anything. Can you hear me? Well, no.
Si, senor.
No, we can't hear you either.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, but we can't tell you that, so it doesn't really do any of us any good.
Oh, Respawn, we haven't had your hot take just yet.
What?
Of the Hunter nerf that's coming.
Listen.
First off, do you know what he's talking about?
Yes, about how it's taken an extra 3 seconds for us to be able to use our dodge.
That's it. Go
at full time. So, look, the nerf. I don't like the nerf. The nerf is stupid. The nerf is dumb. Hunters need any and every advantage we can have against Titans and Warlocks, right? Especially since I didn't see any mention of top tier Solar Warlock tree nerf. By the way, Bungie, just why the Hunters? Huh? Why aren't you doing anything to the top tree Solar Warlock?
Because Warlocks don't play PvP.
Anyway, so I have a problem with that, right? Because once again, they're attacking Hunters unjustly, right? But what I really have a problem with is Fallout. Fallout saying that it is the best PvP ability in the game. The best, by the way. He keeps saying the best.
What, your dodge that you have?
Yes. Yeah, Fallout says it's the best PvP ability.
Well, I wouldn't argue with Fallout then. Fallout knows everything.
Fallout is very wrong in this case.
Is that because he's not a hunter main?
Yes.
It sure feels like the best thing in the game.
It's not. The best thing in the game is one-shot melees!
Oh, God.
Which you can dodge away from. But
no,
now
you can't.
less well.
You really can't. You really can't. That's not a thing. If we're on the ground, unless we have that blink dodge, which would make us invulnerable, okay, cool. Maybe then I would agree with Fallout. But if it's the freaking Titan, one-shot melee that an insurmountable skull fort will give you, I don't know,
all the time since Respawn was edited out by his own microphone again.
I was just
The
saying,
moment I can
especially if you're
start
talking about the
hearing it,
insurmountable
and
skull
you
fort,
scream down my headset.
infinite of them. Okay,
That's
so
just welcome
it is
to you.
definitely not the freaking best in the game. Fallout, liar.
So is this all you're moaning about? Is the fact that Fallout says it's the best thing in the game and you got a nerf? Have you actually got anything constructive to add to it?
Well, there's
Or is it just a moan?
to say. It's an additional 3 seconds at full reset, right? Not including if you spec into mobility. Obviously, if you spec into mobility, that 3 seconds becomes like a half a second or some nonsense, right? Not noticeable. But at full charge, it's a noticeable thing, and it is unfair that they're targeting hunters once again without nerfing anyone else. And I do have a feeling it's because of that new exotic that's coming out, right? I think that's why Bungie did it. And, I was really looking forward to really spamming that blink dodge. And this is Bungie's solution to that. So, devil's advocate here. Do I understand why they did it? Yes. Am I happy that they've only touched hunters? No.
I love it when you play devil's advocate to your own argument.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be too biased.
We only have one devil.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Arf, what's your opinion
Oh,
on
it's not a devil.
What's your opinion on the hunter nerf or the change to the dodge? Is it as bad as Respawn is making it out to be?
I don't think it is. 2 seconds isn't a lot.
3.
4.
Oh, it's 3 now, is it?
It's 4 seconds at tier 4.
Oh, 4 seconds. Even worse!
Well, that thing that Demon and I were saying is they give that as an example, but is that a 4-second increase across the board, or does I assume that's going to go? It'll be based on what the tier is. Your tier 10 and tier 1. Changes won't be 4 seconds.
Bring that down anyway.
You should, if you spec into your dodge ability, then you should be able to bring it down.
So what's the issue then?
Well,
but it's probably not going to be what it is at the moment. I think that's what the issue. They've gone right. Tier 4, it's going to be 4 seconds. So maybe as it scales up, that it's not going to be as bad. So if you spec into like you've got tier 10 mobility, it will go down to an extra 1 second added on. But then the other scale, if you've got no mobility, that it's an extra 10 seconds that's added on. If you see.
Yeah. I mean, we also have builds that give us, infinite melee, infinite dodge, right? But you have to do one right next to the other. So, I mean, we have ways around that. That's why I'm not, like,
oh, good.
Evil, I mean, it sucks that we're the only ones that got nerfed, but, I mean, we have ways around it if you really want to spec into that dodge.
So, Arf, just before you turned up, or when you did turn up, I called you a nerd because you're our lore nerd.
Yeah, I'll take that.
There you go. So, welcome back to the show after a little hiatus.
Yeah, things have been busy.
So, Arf, we've gone for a mega episode of lore, which I hope you've turned up with some lore this week.
No, I'm completely unprepared.
Good, because I'm just about to insert the lore that you've already recorded. So this is Not Arf lore that he's finished off the Books of Sorrow that we've been listening to over the last couple of weeks.
Right.
So go ahead and enjoy that. And then when you come back, we've got some new lore because Arf's got some more stuff to tease for Beyond Light.
Well, it's not so much lore, it's a basic background of the Elixir. Or the Fallen, as we know them. Now, in particular, I thought it'd be better to have a bit of a look at Varix, get to know who he is, and especially Aramis as well. But to understand these two, you need to understand a bit more about the history of the Elixir.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's your tease to come back and listen to the other part of the podcast.
Book 5, verse 0. Interdict, simulate, worship. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to salt my meat with your briny little thoughts. I'm going to cook your flesh on your broken, molten hull. Insinuate, subvert, replicate. This ship is my throne. You want to take it from me. You want to fill it up with your own sport and use it for your abstract purpose, but I defy you. Observe, imitate, usurp. You will never be what I am. Simulate me, wretch. Calculate the permutations of my divinity. Computate the death in the shape of my throne. Render my shadow on the stone of 10,000 graveyard worlds. It will never be enough. I hold the tablets of ruin. I speak to the deep. Not with a galaxy of thinking matter could you encompass me. Behold. Unknown. Enigma. Shortfall. Abort. Halt. Abort. Book 5, verse 1. End of a failed timeline. By now Koira knows it can't win. There's something pathological about the world inside Oryx's ship. It resists analysis with hot, dead spite. And Oryx himself is irreducible. He refuses to obey Koira's simulations. He crashes around sowing chaos. He grabs subminds and compromises them with some kind of ontological weapon. Paracausal systems, very problematic. Koira's trying the religious tactics it evolved in the Hive Manifold, but even on those terms, Oryx is strong, so strong. Koira won't be able to protect its gates much longer. The closest Koira got to simulation of Oryx is a best guess bootstrap. It's wrong. Koira is sure of that. It's Oryx, minus the symbiote organism, minus the wings and morphs, minus the weapons, minus the power. Not good for anything. Koira manifests that simulation anyway, just to see what happens. The Taken King marches in on Koira's Hydra hull, armed with blade and magic, cloaked in ancient cloth, and the universe wails in horror around him. Koira's physics models, and toy worlds choke and crash. Koira observes, alert and attentive as a single quark splits on the tip of Oryx's sword. From within the Hydra hull, Koira's tiny Not Oryx speaks. What are you, it says. It's manifesting terror and awe. Oryx's eyes blaze with curiosity that is entirely isomorphic with hate, with voracious hunger. Orash, he says, in his Hive language. You made me as I was. You made a tiny Orash. Ha! Koira updates the simulation's name. Orash is curious. You're me? You're me as I become? Oryx kneels. His blade is on his left shoulder. Koira is firing every available weapon at him, but his wards don't break. He looks into Koira's senses through the hammering fire and he says, Child, I have everything you wanted. I am immortal. I know the great secrets of the universe. I have scouted the edges of the darkness, and I have chased the lying god down galactic arms in a howling pack of moons. In my fist I carry the secret power that I will rule. In my worm I bear the tribute of my court, and of my children, the Hope Eater, the Weaver, and the Unraveler. And with this tribute I smash my foes. I am Oryx, the Taken King. I am almighty. Koira samples the Teox intelligent retrieved from the Ecumen Gate. There are useful names. It feeds them to the simulation. What about your sisters? Orash asks his future self. Sethona, Zyro, are they with you? The Taken King's fangs glint. That sound might be a laugh or a hiss. Koira shuts down its weapons and puts all its spare resources into sending telemetry to the Greater Vex. There will be points in space and time where this data is vital, where there will be a great project undertaken in the study of ontological power with this throne space. Where are my sisters? Orash shouts. What have you done with my people? What have you done? But Oryx's fist is full of black fire, and the next thing Koira sees is a light like stars. Book 5, verse 2. Strict proof eternal. I have a gift for you, says Oryx. Savanthan, Witch Queen, looks at him with dry wariness. Is it the sword logic? I need to go into the deep and take your power for myself. Their echoes move along the war moons, walking together on the hull of a 2,000-year-old warship. Savanthan's fleet has assembled here in preparation for assault on the Giftmast. The deep is headed that way on the trail of its prey, and the hive will be its vanguard. It's a Vex I captured, Koira, blade transformed. It made an attempt to puncture my throne. I thought you might enjoy studying it. Oryx pauses, digesting. Through the bond of lineage he can feel Crota killing, worlds and worlds away. It tastes like sweet fat. Koira contains a Vex attempt to simulate me. It might generate others. You, perhaps, or Zivu-Arath. I've left it some of its wills of its own so it can surprise you. I suppose it'll blow up and kill me, Savanthan grouses, or let the machines into my throne where they'll start turning everything into clocks and glass. If it kills you, then you deserve to die, Oryx says, with a quiet thrill. A happy thrill, because it is good to say the truth. I don't have strict proof yet, you know. Savanthan strokes the void with one long claw, and space-time groans beneath her touch. This thing we believe, that we're liberating the universe by devouring it, that we're cutting out the rot, that we're on course to join the final shape. I haven't yet found strict eternal proof. We might yet be wrong. Oryx looks at her for a moment. Just a moment. He is nostalgic. He is sentimental. He imagines the years behind us. The things we've done, and yet being old doesn't feel like a scar, does it? It hasn't left me dull. I feel alive with you, and every time I step back into this world from my throne, I feel like I'm 2 years old again, at the bottom of the universe looking up. But he says, sister, it's us. We're the proof. We, the hive. If we last forever, we prove it, and if something more ruthless conquers us, then the proof is sealed. She looks back at him with the eyes like hot needles. I like that, she says. That's elegant, although of course she has had this thought before. Book 5, verse 3. I'd shut them all in cells. Pray and sacrifice, uttered by Zivu-Arath, god of war. Harmony. When the traveller passed across Harmony, it lied to the orbit of 10 worlds. Now they orbit the black hole. The traveller lied to the accretion disk, so it would give them warm light to these worlds. The traveller lied to the accretion disk, so it would give warm light to these worlds. The Giftmast. When the traveller left Harmony, it made a monument out of the black hole's polar jet. In the jet there is a hollow mast which sings out radiance. This is the Giftmast, and we will devour it. We will eat the sky out of it. We will snap it like a bone. The Harmony Sting. The Harmony have weaponized their dead star. They can stimulate the accretion disk to fire relativistic plasma jets. We will take the Sting. We will use it to burn their worlds. I will grant 1 temple of tribute to the first ascendant to kill a world. Oryx. I will have the Giftmast to feast on. I will have it first. I am Zivu-Arath, and all war is my temple. Beware, daughters of Oryx, for they make and unmake with ease. Savanthan, the deceitful sister, will be distracted by Arcana and the song of the black hole. Treat her broods with contempt. The traveller. We chase it and we will devour it. The deep will rule the cosmos. The dragons. Our gods should be ours alone. Their smug freedom is an insult to me. I'd shut them all in cells. Bring them to me. Book 5, verse 4, the Giftmast. The Giftmast. It towers above this star system like a monument to treason. It beams with silver light. It sings a radio lullaby made of soothing lies. In its light lives the Harmony, and they are now our prey. Now arrives Zivu-Arath at the head of her mighty armada. She fights the Harmony for 50 years with strategies and discipline, but the Harmony turns to dragon wishes, and their wishful bishops wrestle Xivu in the ascendant plane. Xivu falls into deadlock. Next arrives Savanthan, flanked by her chorus and her celebrants. They trick their way onto the Anharmony in disguise, so they might vivisect these dragons. The Wormar god laughs and laughs. For 100 years, Savanthan keeps secret covens among the Harmony, but first of all was Oryx, whose brood grew in secret places in the rubble of the accretion disk. The first navigator sends rocks and comets to crash into the Harmony worlds, so that Harmony fleet will be disarrayed. He sends seeders to infiltrate the Harmony worlds with his broods. Here at the center of the 5th book, the Hive have grown so mighty that it has made the annihilation of all false life routine. Xivu kills the wishful bishops, and Savanthan achieves some secret purpose, and Oryx's court tears down the gift mast. The Harmony people will wail in terror, and they throw themselves into the silver lakes of Anharmony to drown. Come, saith Oryx, eat of this gift mast, for I am a generous god. Of its pieces I claim only 2 out of every 5. The mast is full of the light of the traveller. It is full of the marrow, taste of the sky. All who eat of it are filled with the ecstatic certainty that they serve a great and necessary purpose. Then saith Savanthan, siblings, listen, we must part ways a while, so that we may grow different. She flies her war moons into the black hole. Her throne becomes different. Saith Xivu, King Oryx, you take up too much space. Your power constrains too many choices. I must go away from you. She flies her war moons away into the night. Her throne is barred shut. Then Oryx was alone. He spent a while in thought, and those thoughts are recorded here. Book 5, verse 5. Apocalypse refrains. This is our message to the things that we kill. A species that believes that a good existence can be invented through the games of civilizations and through the laws of conduct is doomed by that belief. They will die in terror. The lawless and the ruthless will drag them down to die. The universe will erase their monuments. But the one that sets out to understand the one true law and to perform worship of that law will by that design gain control over their future. They will gain hope of ascendance, and by their ruthlessness they will assist the universe in arriving at its perfect shape. Only by eradicating from ourselves all this clemency for the weak we can emulate and become that which endures forever. This is inevitable. The universe offers only one choice, and it is between ruthlessness and extinction. We stand against the fatal lie that a world built on laws of conduct may ever resist the action of the truly free. This is the slavery of the traveller, the crime of creation, in which labour is wasted on the construction of false shapes. If you choose to fight us with everything you have, with all your laws and games. We will prove our argument thus. Book 5, verse 6. I art, I art, I art, I art, I art. All is well, I art. What is at war is healthy, what is at peace is sick. My son Crota feeds me rich, rich tribute. My lineages are strong, my worm is vast and sated. And with that security I can spend my time on study and communion with the deep. As I learn more secrets, my power grows. As my power grows, I use it to learn more secrets. I art. Let it be thus, because it must. I wonder if my sisters have secrets of their own. If my power exceeds theirs, I may kill them permanently and subsume their thrones. But I think they may have strength that they hide from me, developed in a time of separation. I art. The only meaningful relationship is the attempt to destroy. Savanthan asks if I am as much a slave of the deep as my taken. She asks what price I pay for my power. I am not taken. The hive is not the deep. The deep doesn't want everything to be the same. It wants life, strong life, life that lives free without the need for a habitat of games to insulate it from reality. When I make my taken, I make them closer to perfect. I heal their wounds and enhance their strengths. This is inherently good, I art. The only right is existence. The only wrong is non-existent. I am Oryx, the first navigator, the taken king, I art. Let me be what I am, because to be anything else would be fatal. Book 5, verse 7. Forever and a blade. I am considering returning to the fundament, learning what became of the God Wave, and the tungsten monoliths, and the continents which were all that remained of my people's primal home. But I know what became of all that. It became me. I am the heir of Fundament, the immortal descendant of those 10-year krill. I asked a question, how can we live in the universe long enough to understand it? And I learned the answer, which is written here in this book. I learned that I had to become the most ruthless of all. I don't know where the darkness, which is the deep, came from, nor the traveller that I hunt, but I will learn. I will learn. This is my inheritance, my estate, eternity, infinity, the whole universe beneath my sword. This is what I rule, forever and a blade. Book 5, verse 8. Worm food. What will happen if I die? It suits me to consider this, for I am a great ally of death. My daughters study the quiddity of death, and my son practice the inhibition of death. And my great work is, in ultima, to become synonymous with death, to die and in that dying live, so that the universe comes to nothing. I will be part of that nothing.
So welcome back. You've now listened to the Books of Sorrow stuff. Now Arf is going to continue with all this other stuff.
So what do you three know about the houses of the Elixir?
They fight a lot, and they fight and they argue over who wants to be in charge of all of them.
Yeah,
they want to be united. They want to be united, but they can't seem to find a unanimous leader. But they thought they had one in. Was it Civics? Was it Civics that we had?
Sepix Perfected.
No.
Well,
you know
that's the thing.
The Path of the Machine boss, was that Septics? No, Civics. Septics. No,
Septics.
I can't remember. There's a lot of S's. There's a lot of them.
Right. In an Elixir house, you've got the command structure of your Kel, which we all know, which we all like killing. And then you have your Prime Servitor, which is basically a robot, and they treat it as a god. Because it's a machine, and they worship machines, and it's in the shape of a traveller.
No, because what does it do?
Because Stone Cold said so.
No. This part of the lore I know. They worship it because it does. There you go. That's why they worship it as a god.
It is a machine, and they worship machines, and it makes their life-giving ether.
There you go.
And then you have your Archon, which is basically almost your your priest, for want of a better word. He maintains the Prime Servitor and the ships, and then you have your Baron and Baronesses down to your captains, and then down to your Vandals and Dregs. So that is your basic command structure of an Elixir house. Now the original houses. So we have House of Wolves, which was mostly destroyed in the Wolf Wars. They served with the Awoken with Marasov as their Kel for a long while, until they believed Marasov is dead, and then they abandoned her.
Oof.
You got House Exile, which I believe is actually mostly on the moon, all those weird fallen you find on the moon. House of Judgment, which there is only one Elixir left of House Judgment, and we all know him well, of Varix.
Yeah.
House of Kings, we destroyed them in the Taken King mostly.
Right.
House of Scar, haven't seen them at all. It's presumed they were lost in the Whirlwind when the Elixir homeworld was destroyed by the darkness.
So what's the Whirlwind?
Whirlwind is the event of when the darkness came to consume. I say consume. It's more than likely it was more than likely the hive that got there first, because another house is the House of Stone, which is theorized this could be one of the commanding houses in the old ways. They stayed behind. They stayed behind to fight, to allow all the other houses to escape, and they were completely wiped out. And there is a bit in the lore where Chelchis, Kell of House of Stone, was actually taken by Oryx. Then we go on to House of Winter, which was mostly destroyed by Guardians again. They've joined up with the Wolves. House of Devils, mostly destroyed in the Seaver Crisis. There is remnants, but remnants remaining. House of Rain, we've not come across them a lot. We only really came across them in, is it Season of the Worthy, where we rescued Sate 14 from the time stream?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all. And House of Dusk as well, which we mostly destroyed in Forsaken. Now, most of these houses have been either scattered or destroyed completely.
Right.
Everyone's heard of Mithrax.
Yep.
Haven't they? Yeah. He's been rumored to be working with us. Now, he has formed his own house. These are the new houses now, what we're talking about. He's created the House of Light, which is,
for those that don't know him, he's the one that we rescued when we had that choice
from the enemy of my enemy.
Yeah.
Yes. We could have killed him, or we could have actually killed him and the Hive Captain the Hive Knight that we're actually fighting in the first place.
Yeah.
I personally, sort of took a step back and sort of looked at him, and he didn't shoot me, and I stood there from there and thinking, why is he not shooting me? And
right.
And then he just disappeared, and I'm like, oh, okay.
After doing that ceremonious bow that they do, yeah.
And then we have the house. Well, it's called by a few names now. It's the House of Dark, or Salvation. Now, this consists of the remnants of the houses, mainly of Wolves, Devils, and Dusk. A lot of Dusk also split into the House of Light as well. Now, the Kell for this house is Eramis, the ship stealer. She's a former fallen baroness of House of Wolves. She was captured in the Wolf Wars and held in the Prison of Elders for a long time under VIP 2029. Sorry, not Wolves, Devils. She was captured and imprisoned in the Prison of Elders during the Reef Wars with the Awoken. Now, she escaped during a mass breakout, which was in Forsaken that we know about, where Cade died. And she rallied the fallen traditionalists, and all the houses formed the House of Salvation, House of Dark, whatever you want to call it. And then that leads us on to the Outbreak Perfected mission, where she tried to steal the remnants of Seaver, which was believed to be held in the Outbreak Perfected pulse rifle in the Zero Hour mission. Now, we only see Eramis right at the end in the boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
But she actually escapes this and carries on doing what she's doing, and that then brings us right up to where she is now on Europa. We've seen what we like on spoilers on here.
We could put a big siren and say that there's going to be spoilers.
Well, it'd be a good time to put it in now.
I've got a quick question. So in the Outbreak mission at the end, that isn't Eramis that we're fighting. That's a different Kell, isn't it?
That's Sepix.
Okay. So
Sepix was a servitor.
Yeah, I thought it was a server tank.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
I can't remember the name of the boss that we fight at the end on the in the hangar.
I've only done that recently as well, and I was too busy trying to stay alive.
Yeah, you kind of you're not fake. So was she on the ship that kept dropping all the services?
From what I understand, she's actually either the boss or in that ship, dropping down to actually help steal the receiver that's contained within.
Well, she can't be the boss because we killed the boss. We didn't let the boss go. The boss is dead. Dunzo. Game over, man.
Yep. Well, her mission is to end the Fallen's dependency on ether.
Right.
Now, caution, spoilers now, because if you remember the game, is it the Vidoc? I believe it's the Vidoc. We see her smash her sort of prime servitor.
Yeah.
And she destroyed it.
Yep.
Now, this is because the darkness is maintaining them now, so they don't actually need ether. A bit like this is why they're originally trying to get the
light
in the Seaver crisis. This is why they adapted themselves with Seaver, so they could actually not rely on the actual servitors and the ether production. So then they could actually be whatever they need to be, and they can rebuild the houses. Now, Mithrax is completely different. He's trying to rebuild the houses in a bit more a traditional way and go back to the original ways of the Elixni. You notice I say Elixni now are not fallen because the Elixni were quite a noble people.
They became fallen after the light left them, right?
That's right, and they basically they chased the Traveler across the galaxy, and they almost became pirates.
Is that when they became reliant on the ether? Were they reliant when they were lit?
They were reliant on the ether before,
right?
But they didn't need the servitors because it was in their atmosphere.
Okay.
It's a bit like, if you look at in the case of humans and Awoken, it's a bit like us trying to find our way to end a dependency on oxygen, almost.
Right.
Okay. But in the Elixni's case, it's a food as well as it's all life giving.
Okay. It's their food, it's their air, it's their everything. It's what makes up their biome, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Which
is why I never understood why Saint 14 keeps on going on about how they eat children.
Because Saint 14, he's been through a traumatic experience. Okay, you got to give him cause for PTSD at this point, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's a fair whack there. Because if you when we first came across Saint 14 in the Infinite Forest in Curse of Osiris, the amount of dead Vex next to him, he must have had a hell of a party.
So he's definitely got some PTSD there, man. You got to give him some kind of leeway when it comes to the things that he says.
Yeah.
You can't eat robots. They're very crunchy and not very nourishing.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, the Drifter ate his ghost, right? So, I mean...
Just give me a second. I was hoping to be completely prepared with this, but I'm just trying to find the fallen prophecies.
Ooh.
If you were completely prepared for a podcast, you would be the first.
You'd be on somebody else's
in the history of our show.
He'd be somebody else's podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I've got the two sections now. I've actually managed to find them quite quickly. I was quite surprised.
Nice.
And this one's called A Drag's Promise.
There's a story old as time of he who could catch the stars, unnamed and eternal. The star catcher would lead the fallen, rising from the lowest station to the highest exalted peaks. It is a fairy tale allowed to persist by the four-armed to keep the docked hopeful, placated. Even the low may one day ascend. The myth, fairy tale, or a prophecy of what will be. It is best not to take chances. After all, one can't reach across the block to claim dominion over 10,000 stars with 10,000 arms if they die here now with only 2.
That's from the House of Wolves law book, and this is about the Kell of Kells. This is also links into the previous one. Petra. So any other falling houses hiding, he'll try to convert. Varix. He may seek to gather the exiles, but they will not follow. They follow none. No Kell, no Archon. Petra. What about this House of Rain, the prophecy you keep quoting? Varix, House of Rain, lost in whirlwind, no survivors, but I keep their prophecies. You think many claim to be Kell of Kells, but none have. House judgment closest thing to peace. The fallen never know. Petra, maybe you are Kell of Kells. Varix, distracted by screen. Looks like Skolas returns to Venus. Petra, I'll find the Guardian. Basically, he could catch the stars is basically this is a prophecy actually predicting who about the Kell of Kells. Now, this is where we go into House Judgment, where it's the only person of House Judgment left alive is Varix. Now, they have a slightly different setup than the rest of the houses because they live among the others. They are the peacekeepers, the lawmakers, or they were. And they try and hold the houses together. Now, with only Varix remaining, he doesn't know what to do. So he was first associated with the House of Wolves and then served the Awoken as the Warden of the Prison of Elders. Now, he remained loyal to the Awoken even after Mara was believed to be dead to run the Prison of Elders with Petra. Now, he continued to do this until Aldrin Sov and Fickrell and all the barons were imprisoned there by Cade and Petra. And they were completely... And he didn't know... He oversaw this for a long while, and then he saw no other way. So he decided to declare himself Kell of Kells and basically click the unlock button and release everyone, causing the events of the Forsaken campaign and the death of Cade 6.
I've got a question for you. So was this a knock-on effect from us completing the Prison of Elders? Because with I think that was at the House of Wolves where we had to fight Skolas at the end, and he declared himself Kell of Kells, hadn't he?
Yeah, he already had, but we killed him at the end of the Prison of Elders.
Yeah, which that kind of then left the position open for Varix to then try and claim, or not?
It's a prophecy. People declare until they've actually united all of the houses. It can't be Kell of Kells. It can be a Kell.
Yeah,
but because
it's like
because not everyone bows down to them.
It's like lords and a king, right? Each Kell would be a lord, and the Kell of Kells would be the king.
No, I understand all of that, but in Destiny 1, Skolas, when he appeared, he declared himself Kell of Kells, and he was he was reuniting all the houses.
That's why, though,
we were fighting.
He was
against.
using that title to try to unite the houses. He wasn't actually the Kell of Kells because the houses weren't united. There can't be a Kell of Kells. He was just saying that as a
rally point,
propaganda tool to unite the houses. You know.
Well, so it sounds like Varix did exactly the same thing.
No, Varix doesn't do that. Varix he wants them to be united, right?
He actually did.
Did he?
He did declare himself the Kell of Kells.
Oh, okay. My bad.
It's like that spot was left open. Oh, well, there's nobody else to fill it. I might as well fill it. Like Arf said, he flicked the switch, opened up the whole of the prison, and completely chaos ensued.
Let me just read this section of the book.
Yeah.
A klaxon blared. The voice of the prison's high servitor echoed over the loudspeaker in Varix's voice. Security system malfunction. Emergency shutdown and rebooting commencing. The place dropped momentarily into darkness. The emergency lighting quickly illuminated the cell block. All around him, alarms sounded. Warning lights flashed and pneumatics hissed. The cryogenic fluids evaporated into fog as the cryo cells lining this cell block began to open. Varix moved as quickly as he could towards the exit, not bothering to look back, for he knew what he'd see. The scorned barons and Prince Aldrin were free, as was every single resident of the Prison of Elders. Varix slipped out under the cover of a prison anarchy. So, through the same secret passage in which Petra and Cade had smuggled Prince Aldrin, there was a ship waited, loaded with the prison's ether stores. As he walked, he made 2 recordings to be sent out by the prison's relays once he was away. The first, he disabled his voice synth and began speaking in a deep resonance of high speak to give commands. He didn't know how many would answer Judgment's call, but he had to try. For the second, he turned his voice synth back on. They call me betrayer, I who was most loyal. They do not think I hear the words bug, insect, and paused, fallen. Up long strides fast now along the ramp and into the ship. Towards the bridge, a Vandalin wolf colours saluted him as he passed. I hear the words House Judgment always hears, no choice. To keep the house together, he paused again. As he reached the bridge of his ship, Judgment always hears. The great machine stood in judgment. Lixney fell to fighting, fell to hate. Emotion caught in his voice. Cannot stomach this hate. As he spoke, the ship's engines rumbled to life. On the screens, Varric could see explosions resonating through the prison. His former charges running rampant. His ship passed through the bay's barrier, and began to move off. Nowhere else to go, no one else to be. Here, he drew himself up to his full height.
And so, I become Varix, the Kell of House Judgment, envoy to the Elixni people.
No choice, he repeated, chuckling deep in his throat. His voice was calm.
Elixni must rise. Yes.
But that's how he's actually declared himself Kell of Kells, to actually try and rally the Elixni people under his banner by declaring himself the Kell of Judgment, because the House of Judgment held such sway throughout the houses, because they were effectively the lawmakers, the judges. Varix then went out and tried to bring together his people. He met with Aramis. She imprisoned him. Well, it's believed she imprisoned him. Now, he's escaped, and from Vidark and all the other
trailers and things.
trailers that I've seen, it looks like he also stole a Shard of Darkness as well.
Oh, okay.
Now, in the gameplay trailer, we see one of the House of Dark's barons actually receiving a Shard of Darkness.
Yeah.
As it comes down out the great orange machine, he grips it and takes it into himself, and that gives him his darkness powers. Now, I believe that Varix has stolen one of these, because we see it just in that lunchbox, maybe? Is that the best way to say it? As the Exo Stranger opens up. And that's why he's basically called us to Europa.
Yeah, he's kind of
And then
fallen back on himself again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm your friend, but now I want to just kind of reunite the Elixni rather than the Fallen. I've done this thing. It's a bad thing, but I didn't mean it to be a bad thing. I'm going to see if I can reunite these people. Oh, I'm imprisoned. Now what do I do? Oh, let's call the Guardians again.
Yes. Basically, he wants to help us now, because he's realised his mistake of trying to actually command Aramis where she doesn't actually want it, and he's realised because she wants to actually rid the dependency of the ether. He's like, whoa, hang on a minute, no, that's not a good thing. And he's realised he'd have a better choice with Mithrax, who wants peace, so the Elixni can prosper.
So why is the darkness might not be a good thing, but why is ridding themselves from the need of ether not a good thing?
Because that, in turn, rids themselves of a dependency. They don't have to depend on servitors. They don't have to defend them. It's not a weakness, because they have to protect those servitors at all cost.
But you said that he said it was a bad thing to rid themselves of the need for ether. It sounds like a good thing.
Yes, but it may be a good thing in your mind. But if you look at it a different way,
that's what I'm trying to do.
If you rid yourself of that ether by allying yourself with Siva, splice it. Well, devil splicers splice themselves with Siva and became monsters.
Mm-hmm.
What Mithrax effectively wants to do, and Varix in a roundabout sort of twisted way, is actually rebuild the Elixni race. And basically, this is my view on it, but it kind of seems a back burner thing for them to actually look at maybe getting rid of even if they want to do it at all, to get rid of the ether, because they can still produce it.
Yeah.
If they can make peace with us as Guardians and humans and Awoken, if they can make peace with all of us, they can prosper. They can make as much ether as they like. It doesn't matter.
I think this is kind of going to be the prelude to something that's going to eventually be a lot bigger story, it seems to be, like maybe a teaming up, because a lot of the people when we were in Destiny 1 were saying, the Elixir, why aren't we have them as a playable character? So maybe they are building upon lore and story to build into the fact that we now have this house of whatever it's going to be at the end of it. Yeah, that's going to join forces with us. But my other question to you guys is, why is it not all right for the Fallen to wield the darkness, but it's going to be all right for us to wield the darkness? Why is
It's
it all right
not all right for us either. We're doing it because of a necessity, not because it's a good thing.
But surely the light should be enough to fight the dark.
Apparently it is not.
The brighter the light, the darker the shadow.
But, like you were saying, Varix has seen that Eramis is using this as a power of darkness and using it against whatever to rid themselves of ether. So why is it all right for us to kind of wield it? I'm not sure on that kind of take of it, and why Varix seems to think that it's all right for us to use it.
I don't know if he thinks it's all right for us to use it. He's got a sample, basically a darkness shard, and we don't know at this point exactly why, but it can be theorized that he wants us to give us this dark shard as like a peace offering, saying, "Look at this. This is what they're using. You can study this."
Mm-hmm.
The chances are in Beyond Light, that's what Exo Stranger will give us to start off our stasis powers.
Yeah.
Hey, you can use this. You can study this. Hey, I wonder what it's like if I eat this thing.
What happens if I put this in my ghost?
Ready if you are.
Right? That's the extent of studying it.
That's another question.
The Exo Stranger, it's believed she can travel in time.
Yeah.
Now it has been confirmed now she is Elsie Bray.
Okay, so she's the legitimate daughter of Clovis, or she's the granddaughter of Clovis?
She's granddaughter of Clovis.
And
daughter of Clovis II.
Anna was the adopted daughter, isn't she, from Mars?
Clovis II, yes.
Yeah.
And then you've got Wilhelmina, Willibray, as well, which is a granddaughter.
But we don't know where she is?
We've only seen her in the lore so far. We haven't actually seen her in-game. Now, with the massive puzzle that was going on last night, I haven't actually had a chance to go through all the information because there is a massive amount there that's come out in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But from what I can tell, having a brief scan of it, Clovis Bray is a monster. He's looking to be this Luca, last universal common ancestor.
Right.
Okay.
Now, it's always been rumored he wanted to be immortal or some sort of immortality, which is why he started the Exo project. What we didn't realize is he actually combined Vex mind fluid with something called clarity, which was supplied to him by the darkness. And yes, Clovis Bray was working with the darkness. Because he got hold of the K1 artifact off the moon after everyone went crazy and killed each other on the moon, and that's what led him to Europa.
So what's the K1 artifact?
Basically, it's believed it was, the orb that Eris is studying.
Yeah,
that we got after the Forsaken campaign out of the pyramid ship.
Yes, yeah.
Or to please a lot of people, a tetrahedron ship. Because that was an argument for a long time. It's not a pyramid; it's a tetrahedron. It doesn't matter.
Bungie say pyramid. We go with
Bungie say pyramid. Yeah. It's believed it was found on the moon, and a joint venture, including Clovis Bray, were actually looking for it, and that's what all the the Lost Sector, the K1 crew quarters. That's all their facility that we go through the moon, and eventually find the pyramid ship. Then we get the artifact, and it's a paracausal artifact that started transmitting, and it basically transmitted for a while, and they realized it was transmitted, and then it got an answer. And in that time, people were having hallucinations. They were suffering insomnia and generally just going crazy. And everyone killed everyone else. So then the artifact was recovered by Braytech, or the Clovis Bray Corporation, and it was taken by Clovis Bray, and then he started getting the voices and the hallucinations and the insomnia. But he didn't actually quite go insane. He interpreted it, and it led him to Europa.
Okay.
And that's when he started the exoscience project on Europa, which then it actually told him to build a Vex gate.
Yeah, because you can just make them. Because
Yeah,
Ikora made one in the tower.
Yeah, with no health and safety there at all.
No.
Yeah, so they built this Vex gate, went through it, and they came on the Vex. It's been theorized it's a home world. Basically, it's a gas giant star that they keep refueling, and basically it's a star forge. And that's where the Vex make other Vex, basically make the exosuits the Vex use.
Right.
Because it is just literally an exosuit. It's not Vex until you put the radiolarian fluid into it. That's what powers it. That's what moves it. That's the intelligence behind it. And then it gives Clovis Bray the idea about using Vex radiolarian mind fluid. So he experiments with it, and over time realizes that he can't put a consciousness straight into this, because otherwise it'd go crazy. Because he tried putting Clovis Bray II into
that was his son, wasn't it?
That was his son, and he ripped himself apart.
Whoa!
Killed himself, and that's when on Mars they banned all Vex stuff. They disassociated themselves with Clovis Bray Senior.
Right.
And eventually he managed to get Elsie Bray to come and work for him. And her, in turn, without actually Anna's knowledge, got Anna to work for him as well. But we don't know if, I'm just theorizing there. She may have known about it. She may have not known about it. But she had some dealings in the EXO project as well.
Yeah. I mean, she could have just thought that she was working with her sister at the time.
In that time, Clovis perfected his mind fluid with this other substance called clarity, which we presume is some sort of darkness effect.
So are you saying that all exos have some darkness in them to create them?
Yeah, almost. They're a hybrid Vex human. That's the best way I can actually get people to understand it. They use a blended mind fluid with a few other ingredients, made this mind cake, and shoved it in the exo bodies.
Okay.
There was a whole lot of references to things that have nothing to do. Fluid, cake, batter, mixture, baked at 200 until not insane.
Yeah.
It was previously also theorized that to get a full brain scan from a human, get a fully detailed brain scan, it basically destroyed the brain.
Okay.
It came out last night that the Vex, there's some way they can do it where the Vex actually simulate the brain and then put it in the exos. Now, I've only literally, please don't take this as gospel, because I've literally had the quickest of quick looks through this, because this came out very, very recently and there was a massive information there. But this is my sort of highlights as I skimmed through it.
Lore
I may
hot
have missed
takes.
something.
This is your lore hot take.
So back to Clovis Bray, he's perfected this thing. He kills Elsie Bray and puts her in an exo.
I'm sorry, he killed her?
He killed her.
She was already dying. He physically, like, hey, daughter, sorry about this, but now I got to kill you. Killed her?
He's dying. He's keeping himself alive with pig organs, is the way to describe it.
Okay.
So he's got a genetic defect. He's dying, and that's why he wants to be put into an exo. I don't know how true this bit is, but it's believed that he put himself into an exo on Europa. He's kept a copy of his mind somewhere as well, and there's another copy somewhere. Now,
Well, yeah, don't they all have a backup in somewhere?
It sounds
Well,
a
it
bit
does
like
have-
Rasputin, really.
Like whether it's like a satellite or the Deep Stone Crypt or whatever. Everybody's got a backup somewhere.
He does say in the previous law that came out that got leaked early with the collector's edition, because they've got nearly a full law book in here, and these are the pages that are missing out of that law book, that he has a full brain scan stored away of Clovis Jr. Clovis the Second, Clovis Jr., whichever you want to call him.
New Hunter Vanguard, maybe. No?
So I'm actually getting quite excited by this, because if they are using a simulation of the mind and they're not destroying the brains to make a copy to put into the Exo, is the original Cade still alive?
Oh,
I've been saying that for months.
Yeah, but you have been saying that for months. It's been theorized for months. But this bit of lore here has potentially made that a massive possibility.
Well, I mean, not only just this lore, right? But I mean, and I know you're going to say that it was his scribe that wrote it, so we can't necessarily trust it. But at some point in time, inside the diary of the Cabal Callus, thank you, it talks about how we kill Cade 7. So, I mean, I've been saying that for months.
That would make sense if it kind of makes sense that if somebody actually found the brain scan of Cade 6 or Cade as a man and actually made Cade 7.
Mm-hmm.
Cade didn't want that.
He never wanted 7. That's why he stopped at 6. Yeah.
So that would make sense for us to go, no, that's not right. Cade didn't want that. Bang, that sorted.
Cade 7's the new raid boss. Kill him.
But no, see, he never wanted to be called Cade 7. But for all we know, there are like 20 iterations of Cade. He just never went past Cade 6 for the name.
He stopped. No. He stopped counting at 6.
Yeah, he stopped counting, but it doesn't mean that he was only resurrected 6 times.
Stop a minute. No, what I mean is in Cade's journals, it says, I can't remember exactly where in the lore it is. It says he stopped counting at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, it could be up to Cade 20. He didn't want to be called Cade 20. He wanted to be called Cade 6. Here's a thought for you. What if that isn't a reset for an Exo? That doesn't denote a reset. What if they got Cade and they got a rack of Exo bodies that are identical, a batch?
So Cade could be his own raid team. All the Cades, just load up a new Cade, restore from backup.
So you've got a batch of 20 Exos, Cade 1 to 20.
And they all fought to the death, and Cade 6 remained.
Well, I think it's quite exciting, all the new lore that's coming out with this ARG that's going on and all the lore pages. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot tied to the new raid, which we can probably delve a lot deeper into once the raid's out, because you don't really want to spoil it.
I'm pretty sure that Aramis is not going to be the raid boss. He's got tied too much into the campaign missions, and Barons 2.0.
Yeah.
To actually be the raid boss. It doesn't make any sense to me.
But something I did want to ask you about, which came out in the trailer. So again, we're still talking spoilers if you're still here. Xivu Arath was mentioned in one of the trailers as being part of this DLC. And it's quite interesting.
The Season of the Hunter.
Yes. It's quite interesting that she's now made an appearance or made a reference to, along with Savathun. So is she a pawn of Savathun, or is she working by herself?
Everybody's a pawn of Savathun.
Probably, yeah. But
we don't know.
Just wanted to ask, not Arf's take on it.
She's a hive god of supposedly equal power to Savathun. But we saw what Savathun did with Crota, and tricked him into doing stuff on her behalf, like she tricked him into cutting into a sword space when the Vex poured out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. I would love to theorize on that, but we just don't have enough information for me even to make a theory. All we know that night that sucker punched Osiris and put him on his backside was a night of Ziva or Wrath. Now, he has been mentioned several times in recent lore. Well, not actually, but actually in game, but mainly around IO. There was a Taken, quite a high level Taken, trying to come through in one of the side missions on IO. That was an envoy. It was something like an envoy of Ziva or Wrath. I can't remember exactly what its name was. And there's been marionettes of Ziva or Wrath as well. But to be honest, it's what, 3 days? 2 days now.
Yeah. To be honest, stop asking me
I'm
questions.
so hyped! I want it to come now. I'm so excited with all the new lore coming out. It's amazing, and oh man, yeah.
It's
I'm
lore
really
Christmas.
looking forward to it. It is lore Christmas.
It's mini Christmas for you.
Hell, we need it at the minute.
You're not wrong.
Well, if any of you guys out there have any questions for Not Arf about lore or anything really for Not Arf, send them in and we'll pose them to him and blow his mind with maybe theories and questions. Because maybe he gets bored with us just keep asking him questions.
Oh no, I get to go on the Guardians of Lore podcast tonight. I'm recording tonight, and
Nice.
that should be interesting. I'm actually really looking forward to that.
So when will that be out for the listeners to listen to?
I don't know. I know they actually run with a buffer of podcasts, so I don't know it's being advertised as a special. So I don't know if it will come out next Friday or it will come out in a couple of weeks.
Okay. So keep your ears to the ground. When we hear that Arf's Lore podcast will be out, we'll let you guys know so you can go listen to him. So if you scroll back up, guys, Parody has, in the podcast info, Parody's put the Benevolent Hew contest entries.
I did see that. And I was thinking maybe I could read that since I haven't contributed any other way today.
That would be much appreciated by Parody and I. Cool.
Yeah, we have our Benevolent Blue Screen's Benevolent Hew giveaway contest entries that we will get to decide and then send the lucky winner their emblem code after this.
Yeah.
How many issues do we have? I think we have like 10, right?
Yeah.
I think there's, something like that.
So thank you very much for all your entries, and anybody that's kind of corresponded with us. Do appreciate it. And it has been very funny for Parody and I to read these. But as a treat for you all now, Respawn will read your entries out on the podcast because he hasn't heard them. So I think your goal here is to see how much you can make him and Arf laugh.
Yeah, I haven't read any of them. I just briefed over how many we had. I haven't read any of them. So these are all very much hot takes.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah, there's one that's a novella I've kept for last because truly this is a novella of a story.
Okay. All right. Entry number 1. The best time playing was D1, Vault of Glass run. Me and the team are completely stuck 7 hours in. Oh, I feel that. And I mean completely stumped. We kept shoving the square in the circle hole. I mean, kept shoving it hours upon hours. So we start drinking and drinking. Less and less playing to the point to we were just sitting in the raid, just BSing nonstop. Well, some business ideas came up. My drunk idea was about a rectal razor. As a man with lots of hair, manscaping is a difficult task, and I barely remember this, but every time they bring it up, I get a chuckle that I thought a rectal razor was a good idea. Cheers. Okay. That
would certainly benefit hairy people.
I suppose it would be, but can't you just use like an electric blade? I'm not getting into the idea. Rectal razor. Okay.
No, I'm sure you'd end up cutting things that you shouldn't be cutting.
Right. Can I edit this? Entry 1 equals rectal razor, so I have a quick reference.
Many bad ideas were had during Vault of Glass, 7 hours in while drinking.
Entry number 2. First of all, love the podcast and all you do, especially Respawn. I always listen when I'm at work and always catch myself. What?
You added that bit, didn't you?
Anything with him in it, yeah.
And always catch myself laughing out loud. The one moment I found myself laughing out loud in Destiny was D1. While doing the Wrath of the Machine raid on the part of the gondola, I remember Aleas pushing off one of my clan mates during his first run and seeing him struggle to get back on to complete that section of the raid. Then we would wipe to do the encounter all over again, but I'd push him off as soon as it started. This I can get behind. Shooting yourself in the foot for a giggle.
Oh,
I can get behind that.
The one that Pan always did to everybody that was new to the Wrath of the Machine raid was under the Zamboni. Oh, if you go behind that wheel, there's a lore piece, or there's some whatever it was, and whoever was new with us,
it was a ghost. There's a hidden ghost back there. Go grab the hidden ghost. Oh, okay. He got me with it.
It got me with it. You just got electrified from the Zamboni even before it's even moved. He was so proud of getting everybody with that one.
So entry number 3. I'm a 1065 hunter, previously warlock, who loved to dodge those crayon-eaten titans with the shoulder charge. The funniest time I have ever had in Destiny was an Iron Banana match in which what happened was I was running a Revoker with a fighting lion just for fun. And so basically what happened is we mercy them and then we load into the next match. And what happens is it's almost the exact same squad we were going against. And so about 2 minutes into the match, yo, invest in periods and commas, my dude.
What happened to respawn is to breathe.
Right? So 2 minutes into the match, I have 5 kills and get one more kill. And then the whole entire lobby, including my team, left. And I got to win randomly because of them being mercied and then going against the same people. We didn't even really stomp them. Hey, there's a period. But yeah, anyways, I love you guys' podcast, especially Respawn. I listen to it every day. Respawn is the best. And I love how you joked about Respawn not being able to speak. And most of the time he is traveling hunter and always robots out. We can edit that last bit out. But I still love you, Respawn, for trying your best as a hunter, as we all support you guys and hope for a good future for your podcast. Well, thank you very much. I do very much appreciate that. Entry number 4. Oh, this is short. Okay, if so my time... What? I'm having a stroke. If so my time I laughed in Destiny was when I was in a group of 2 other friends. We were getting ghosts before Destiny 2. My friend had to go out of bounds. He died. Then without speaking, the 2 of us threw throwing knives at his body at the same time. So just like as he's falling, you just chuck throwing knives and just, I mean, what? Okay, here we go. Entry 5. At least a few times a week, I play private matches one-on-one against my son. His skill is far above mine, and I have never won against him. I'm one fateful day.
On one fateful day.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am playing
I didn't
against...
edit these. I just posted them as is, so.
I gotcha. I'm playing against him like usual. He is owning me. I'm getting frustrated, and he is just laughing as he's killing me at will with every part of his arsenal. While this is going on, my dear 9-year-old daughter is sitting next to me and taps me on the shoulder. I take off my headset and ask her what she wants. Her response was, "Dad, are you playing with Nathan?" I responded with, "Yes. Why?" Her retort, "Just wondering, you're dying more than usual." I just busted out laughing that even a 9-year-old who doesn't play can notice how bad I'm getting owned. Oh, Lord. Okay, so that's a good one. I like that. Are you playing with Nathan? Yeah. Why? You're just dying a lot. That's all. All right. Entry 6. I was doing that one actually gave me a little bit of a tear. Okay. I was doing a Nightfall the Ordeal match against Sadia. But every time I tried to hit her with a void charge, she would shoot me off the islands. Normally this wouldn't bother me, but I would always get hit with the freaking asteroids. I feel that, bro. I really do. This has easily happened 4 times, and this made me so mad. And at the same time, I couldn't stop laughing. Bro, I know the feeling. When you're just so angry that all you can do is laugh so that you don't have to do something illegal and probably homicidal. I'm right there with you, man.
I think
In
it's just that nightfall, isn't it? You literally you die, you spawn back in, and she knows where you're going to be, and she goes boop, and that's it. You're like, no, hang on, I haven't even got to jump.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, man. And even if you have a chance to make it to another platform or even back to the island she knocked you off of, nope, you get smashed by a freaking asteroid the size of Connecticut, you know? Anyway.
Every time.
Totally feel that, man. Totally feel that. Okay, entry 7. I hope you're all well. Thank you for all of the wonderful podcasts this year, especially Respawns. Well, thank you. I'm a Canadian-born Torontonian who moonlights as a French teacher. School has been a whirl this year, and your podcast and Destiny 2 have helped me get through these current stressful times. I'm a solo gamer and part of a clan who are never on the hours I play, and I'm constantly on LFG. It sounds like you need to join Frozen.
I feel his pain there.
Yeah, sounds like you need to join Frozen. That's all I'm saying. One day I decided to make a new post on LFG to emphasize the fun and jovial times that I had during a raid. My post sounded like this. Last wish. Mike. 21 plus. Warlocks must have good jokes. Picture this. 6 warlocks, 6 fallen guillotines, 6 adults on mics, each joining the group chat with a joke as their opener. Here's the best one I heard. Why do Titans' eyes hurt? Because they can't blink. It's even more true because hunters are going to be able to blink too. Titans can't blink. Each encounter of our fire team guardians had a funny joke or story to tell. I will be posting LFGs like this more often. Less about skill as a player, more on good times. I do like that. You know what? You're gonna get
I think
a highlight.
I'm pretty sure we have Respawn's entry right now, but
I mean, he got the highlight.
Go.
That's all we need to go. Just get the highlight. One question for each of you to answer. What will be your weapon loadout for the first story mission in Beyond Light? Okay. For me, most likely, it's going to be Mountaintop Primary. I'm going to have the Non-Hunger Secondary, and then the Anarchy for my Heavy. And I'm going to be going Bottom Tree Tether with the boots. You know which boots I'm talking about. The boots.
Arf, what's yours going to be?
Got the loadout for going straight in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Day 1 mission Beyond Light. What are you running with?
I can tell you. Hang on, let me just bring up my character now.
Already set. Already good.
No, I work on a parody loadout. Basically the highest level gear I've got at the time.
Nice. That's gonna be good though. I mean, especially for a Titan, just the war pig with, really any auto rifle will do the job. But if you haven't tried it yet,
Respawn, he's a hunter.
What did he say Parody's building?
Oh God.
I thought when he said Parody's build,
ultimately
just go right to the war pig.
Parody's school of thought, which was to put on the highest gear.
Currently running a Toil Trouble shotgun, Ruinous Effigy, with a falling guillotine, with a War Mantis helmet, Holdfast grips, Sovereign vest, Holdfast strides, and a Clandestine Maneuvers cloak.
Oh, you went the whole gear. Oh, look at you.
Parody, what's yours going to be?
Well, I was gonna do part of Respawn, so I have to change it up a little bit. I'm gonna rock the Exo Stranger's exotic pulse rifle. No time to explain day 1 because I pre-ordered. I'm gonna have it, so I'm gonna rock it day 1. I'm gonna mix that with a summoner because he took my gnawing hunger, so I have to be a little bit different. And we all need an auto rifle. Heavy could go either way. Probably whichever grenade launcher I've had on. We'll go with one of the outrageous fortunes because it's there. I'm going to be rocking the Syntheseps because I've really been enjoying the Syntheseps lately. And the rest of my gear will be my Iron Banner, Dusk and Dawn shadered loadout. That there is only one true armor set, so that's all you need.
Well, there you go.
And I'm going to be running, I think, Middle Tree Void because everyone needs detonator strapped to their chest.
And since y'all are talking about your armor, and I did not, I suppose I should let y'all guys know that if I'm not going to be using Orpheus rigs, the Stompies is going to be the next best choice because that puts me at the 100 mobility, 100 recovery mark.
I've got to admit, I'll probably run the Stompies. They allow me to jump.
Mm-hmm. And what are you rolling with, Night Demon?
Well, first of all, I can tell you you're all wrong. Second of all,
of course,
the first thing that you need to do is go to the tower and sort out, leveling yourself up. Maybe go off and do other things.
But you're thinking about stuff we have no idea what we're going to get.
No.
Yeah,
What's the first activity you're going to play? He says you're.
I'm going to the tower. I'm going to the tower.
When you load into a combat zone,
I don't know.
I'm going to go find stasis.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know because I'm going to go to the tower. I'm going to maybe pop open my exotic engrams that I've got saved at my postmaster, so I may have some new toys to play with.
So Night Demon will get into the game about 4 days after the rest of us. After we sorted out his
ignore Night Demon. Night Demon is just being a little whatever.
No, that's what I do. That every expansion, what I do is I go to the
wondering,
tower.
I think I'll run Old Fashioned or True Prophecy, explosive rounds with Outlaw. Aikilo sniper rifle, 4th time to charm and high impact reserves. I have that one too, very nice. And the sleeper simulant with the catalyst. That's what he's rocking. So not bad. I don't know about taking the old fashioned into a PvE, but I mean, it is what it is.
People love their hand cannons,
I guess. All right. So,
take a breath.
Sadly, I was late to Destiny. This is entry 8, by the way. And this guy wrote a lot.
Yeah, this is your novella. That's why I saved it for last.
Gotcha. I did not get to experience D1 in its origins due to life circumstances at the time. However, fast forward to just before Forsaken, a former coworker of mine who is also my current clan leader and founder kept bringing up Destiny and how much he loved the game, and I would notice him always in a party doing raids on Xbox. So I decided to pick it up. The first 2 years of Destiny sucked. I didn't have any good weapons. Anytime I would get even remotely close to light level cap on my character, there would be a new season and I'm magically behind again. So I was constantly playing catch up. I played through Forsaken as Warlock and found myself frustrated more times than enjoying the game. Yo, he raised a good point right there. I mean, Come Shadowkeep, however, I decided I wanted to try a new character, so I chose a Titan. Sorry, Respawn. Yeah, you should be! Now, I started to find a niche in the shoulder-charging, shotgun-wielding, crayon dieting of a nuisance that is a Titan with Dune Marches and Arc Strider. At least he knows the target demographic. I've managed to get my Recluse, Revoker, and Luna's Howl in the season before the Seraph Towers. Haze that season dropped off just as they dropped Felwinter's Lie quest because I'm an idiot. Fast forward to Season of Arrivals. Going to my favorite memory that I'm foreshadowing to which happened recently. Now, I wanted my Moments of Triumph title, and this was before we could finish off Forerunner. I needed to do every raid except Scourge of the Past. Found a decent raid team, and we all got along. Well. Finished all 5 raids I needed. Last Wish, Leviathan, Crown of Sorrow, Garden of Salvation, and Eater of Worlds. In the span of about 6-ish hours or less, of course, hours. Of course, these guys were experienced and were down when they found out I only had 1 raid left. The next day, same team helped me get my Divinity. Congrats. So I got my Moments Triumph and Divinity pretty much all at once. I had never been so clicked into what most would consider a Destiny community, nor did I raid much prior to the experience, and now I'm not scared of raids. So yes, that is likely my fondest memory. Love the show, guys. Please keep doing what you're doing, and I hope to be in a fire team with you guys someday. It will be raiding Crucible Nightfalls or what have you. Did he happen to say what platform he's on? I don't know. What? Shut up. Good health to you all. And Respawn, you'll like this bit. I made Warlock for Forsaken, Titan for Shadowkeep, and now, well, I'm assuming you meant maining Hunter, not maiming Hunter. So I'm going to let that one slide for Beyond Light. So I can say I have... You shut your face. so I can say I have adequate experience under each class. Eyes up, Guardians. Yes! Finally. If Warlock wasn't what you liked and Titan you think is your niche, then I want you to play Hunter because you need to play Hunter because everybody needs to play Hunter. Okay? That's all I'm going to say.
He said he's going to maim a Hunter and Beyond Light, so he's all good.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm
we
assuming
like
he means maining Hunter.
Right. But I mean, honestly, if you're maining a Hunter, you're also be maiming that Hunter because that Hunter is going to get a lot of maiming done. Whereas my Hunter is very safe. My Hunter is very safe in the ship where he hasn't left in months. Very safe. He hasn't been maimed once this season.
So that's a good story. I like that. I went into a lot of detail.
But
Okay, so we had our entries of Rectal Razor being pushed off the cliff, the Iron Banner Mercy, the dual throwing knives, the daughter taunting her dad, off the map into the asteroid, Warlocks, Swords, and Jokes, or 5 raids in 6 hours. Who is our glorious winner of Benevolent Blue Screen's Benevolent Hew giveaway?
So, my personal entries. Daughter calling the dad out, right? Warlock Jokes.
Well,
and then
we only have one, so pick your favorite. We only have one code to give away. Sorry, kids. So
the two that I could go for is daughter taunts dad, or push off the cliff because we all do that to somebody.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a third?
We're not narrowing it down to 3.
No, but if we all pick 3, whatever common one we all pick, we can get it.
Already, daughter taunts dad is up there with 2.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So, Parody.
Well, I appreciate. I mean, I feel like daughter taunts dad. They know that clearly they all know their demographic. I've got to say though, the Warlock Swords and Jokes. I feel the rectal razor and the push off the cliff so much because of Volta Glass. Because Durian, the Warlock, would always shove us off the cliff with that Warlock melee in D1 every single time. But I think the Warlock Swords and Jokes are entry 7 has got to be my favorite.
So we got a tie between daughter calling out the dad and then Warlock Jokes. That leaves you, Demon, as the tiebreaker.
Damn it.
And that's assuming you even pick one of those. We could have a 3-way going, and I'll just have to roll some dice.
Show up, have to make decisions, have to do things.
I like those two as well. I was just hoping that you two would just kind of.
I
flip a coin.
You
got a coin?
Let me have a look at something first.
What are you looking at?
Hang on, let me check.
Whoever's listening to this podcast is like, "Hurry up, Demon! I need to know."
No, he's gonna edit all this out. What do you mean?
Yes.
No, we need to have a non-copyrighted version of the Jeopardy song just playing in the background.
I'm just going to check something out. Where is it?
I will mention that for the purpose of this, I put the entries in as with no names on them and just gave the numbers because some of the names I recognize, some of them I don't, and I don't remember who submitted who now. So,
yeah, but you can always go back and look, right?
Well, right, yeah, I'll go back and look once we decide the winner, but I didn't want that to influence our decision making.
You got it.
Except for whatever Night Demon's up to right now, which is throwing the whole thing into chaos.
Right.
I don't know why he's doing that.
What can you possibly be looking for at this point? Everybody,
he's looking for a coin flip on the internet that has no bias to it.
No. You can respectfully abstain if you wish, but
no. I've got an idea, but I just need to.
Came down with a fire team of 9.
He's looking for a second code. That way he doesn't have to make a decision. I know I've got a code here
so well. Know me so well.
Are you really?
Yo. He's thinking if he can buy the pit and still and get a new code for this exact giveaway.
Oh my god, are you doing that? Are you actually buying a pin to give it away?
No.
You indecisive SOB.
As we go live to Bungie.net/store and Nathan putting in his not credit card and probably debit card into the system and buying a pin to wait for the code to be emailed to him live.
Look, I'm giving him crap, but honestly speaking, that's absolutely something that I would do. And just not tell you guys at all. Just like, oh no, look at this, we have a second code. Oh, it's just completely blocked over this.
Let's see if Night Demon wants to spend $15 US and whatever that is in pounds to make this happen.
Make a decision.
I do. I've got another code. No. Listen, I've got a Planet of Peace emblem that I can give away to our second entry.
Oh. Well, you have to come up with a funny punny name for your giveaway then. This is my giveaway.
Okay, you still have to pick
Blue Screen's giveaway.
You still have to pick a winner because the winner of this gets the one emblem, and then the runner-up can get the one that you just found / bought, right? So you still got to pick a winner.
I didn't buy it.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, we believe you.
It was one that was given to me for like if we needed it for a competition, and I just had to find it and see if it was still redeemable.
So instead of running your own competition, you're now gonna butt into my competition and rather Blue Screen's competition.
Same competition.
It is now.
Yeah, right.
Well, you put me in the awkward position of choosing out of two, and I can't choose.
No, it's not an awkward position. We knew we'd have to choose for weeks now.
Okay, here, I'm going to make it easy. Daughter taunts dad wins. The end. Game over. Congratulations.
Yeah, but then Warlock Swords Jokes also got voted like so many.
Mm-hmm. So that's why you have to break the tie. Parody has no say in this.
In the words of Respawn, second place is the first loser. If you haven't said that, I'm sure you have at some point. So I'm still going to quote you.
I have said that many times.
Yeah, we'll go with Daughter Taunts Dad.
Okay.
Target
demographic wins. Wow, we're about to sellouts.
Clearly, this person understands the target demographic of having your daughter be like, "Wow."
Sorry, the runner-up gets whatever code that Demon just bought.
You.
So. Yeah, no, you can tell me that all day, but I'm not going to believe it.
Well,
exactly.
So, Warlock Swords and Jokes. I have a Planet of Peace emblem that I can give you as a runner-up prize.
And it makes sense, right? Because Planet of Peace, hey, everybody come in, tell a joke. I mean, it fits. Yes. It fits. Yeah. So, good call.
Each respective winner will, or the winner and runner-up will get a message. We'll email you and let us know, Warlock Swords and Jokes, if you'd like your Planet of Peace emblem, because you may already have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
If not, then I'm going to have to come up with something else. I'll actually have to buy something from the Bungie store and give you an emblem.
Yep. Send him the pin. Send him the pin. And the emblem.
Ship it directly to his house. Yeah. Well, thank you all for entering. This was a lot of fun. We will. Thank you, Blue Screen 42, for texting me and going, "Hey, I have an emblem. You should give it away," because sometimes we need kicks to make things happen. So thank you all for entering, and stay tuned. We will inevitably give away more things as we have them and find fun ways to do it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
As we get more popular and more people give us stuff, we'll give more stuff away.
So, this is not going in the podcast. Do not leave it in.
Is this off topic? Is this an off topic?
No, this is not going in. But I have in mind one of the things that I was going to do, right, is...
So thank you very much for those entries. And I've just got a few things to kind of remind people before we finish out the podcast. So apparently on the Destiny Community Podcast, Miss 5000 Watt says that Cosmo has confirmed that the exotic catalysts that are going away with the Destiny Content Vault will be making a reappearance in seasons 13/14 because they've got to change some of the objectives on how to finish those or acquire those. So they are coming back, not this season, coming up, maybe after Christmas, but definitely a lot quicker than what they have in previous seasons. So that's, I think, the catalyst for like Sweet Business, Sunshot, and the Graviton Lance that we had with the faction rallies. They went away for a very long time before they were put back in the game. So they've got to change some objectives on those and they will be back. I have one video for you this week, and it is from our amazing guy, Cheese Forever, has put out a guide, especially for you, Respawn. It's a 55-minute guide on how to power level. So if you are day one raid racing, he's kind of broken everything down in small chunks for you to kind of understand of what to do, what does what, how this is going to work, and what's probably the best going into Beyond Light. So there's one for you, Respawn, to go and watch.
Very much appreciated, Chiefs.
I thought you would like that. I would also like to say a big thank you to Cool Dad 2107 and Snatchy from Australia, who this week helped me get my final part of the 0-hour heroic puzzle mission done. So we met on LFG, put out a post, asked for some help. These guys turned up, came and helped. Snatchy, unfortunately for him, said, "Oh, is there anything else that I can help you guys out with?" I went, yeah, actually, there's this little puzzle in the Niobe Labs that's called the Niobe Torment. Would you mind helping me out with that? Oh, sure, no problem. I'll give you a hand. 6 hours later, I think he kind of regretted that. I say 6 hours later. We spent about 3 hours the first day trying to do it. Couldn't do it. I then said, "Are you guys going to be available tomorrow at the same time?" They both said yes, and then they were both on. I know.
Mistake.
That was the second mistake. But thank you very much. We got it completed. It was such an epic task. I'm not going to take off the emblem. I'm not taking off the ghost that we got for it. I've also got the ship that I did the 100 frames for. That was I did a while back. And I've also got the Sparrow from the Scourge of the Past raid. So I've got the trifecta of Black Armory exotics and the emblem to go along with it. So I was so overjoyed that I could get this done before it went away in this season. So yeah, and I also hit over 100,000 on my Triumph score. So I know there's quite a few that I missed out on, like doing the Reckoner title. In the end, I kind of had to bite the bullet, and this week, literally with gritted teeth, I deleted the Invader armor and the Collector armor, and I was like, "But I'm sure I could find some time. I could find time."
Yeah, no, that's one. I feel you. I got through the first two parts, asked around for advice, and then just haven't had any time to do anything. I was like, I'm looking at those armor sets going, maybe I could. No, it's this weekend. We're at the end of the season,
Yeah.
All of my plans, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna, finish anything. I'm gonna pull up Raid Tech. I'm gonna see if there's anything where I need one Crucible win or something small to do. But I'm not trying to undertake any craziness before the end of the season. I'm going to coast into the next season and see where it takes me.
Respawn?
Yo, what?
Anything?
Sorry, I was looking for Cheese Forever's video. Anything regarding your 6-hour marathon?
No, just anything that you've want to say?
Sounds like a really loaded question. I'm being paranoid now. What?
Well, I've just said thank you to the two guys that stuck with me this week and helped me do really hard things. And Parody was talking about his title. I didn't know if you had anything to say before we went.
I do kind of want to apologize. So, you pointed a guy in my direction to help him out with a raid, right? The day that we were going to link up, it didn't work for him. Okay. And I was like, okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up with these guys because we joined an LFG and then he said he couldn't do it. So we joined an LFG. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to link up with these guys and try to learn how to do this raid for you. Right. So I go in. About 30 minutes later, the raid is done. I still have no idea what we did. Right. So
I love that.
Right. No, it's Spire of Stars. Basically, they're like, stand there and the boss is dead. What? What did I miss? What happened?
Right? What happened in between this point and that point?
Yeah. So, still have no idea what's going on. I know my plate. I stand right there and I shoot stuff. Right. So yesterday we were supposed to do it, and then I got held up because we were on our way back from Orlando and traffic was a nightmare. And he's like, look, we'll just do it tomorrow, which is going to be today. So yeah, we'll get it done, and then you can, thank us for being omnipotent and helping you get something done that you needed to get done.
That is so kind of you to actually help him out.
Well, I mean, I was put on the spot. I can't just say no now. You know, I'd like to, but it's too late now.
I'm down with a fire team of 9. You're in it now, buddy.
Yep. It's too late. I've been sucked into a war with the Cabal, and then it's just actually it is Cabal. Yeah, so I have been sucked into a war with the Cabal.
Oh, dear. So I think that's it, really. I mean,
Sounds like it.
go and enjoy the game.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was 2 things I wanted to mention that are not not buildy guidey related, but just links that I found. One is our friends over at blueberries.gg. They might be our friends, might be sworn enemies. Who knows? They've put together a guide with the help of the almighty Mercules, and they talk about basically TTK. So in this guide, they'll give you sort of a guide to all the TTK values for primary weapons. Sort of, each archetype of the weapon, each breakdown shows you what the TTK is on it, and TTK is time to kill. And, what your critical percent is, your optimal kill times, your body shots, examples where you can find these guns. So if you're trying to find, sort of like the best gun to get the quickest time to kill in certain PvP stuff, they have a good breakdown of all of that stuff over at blueberries.gg. And we'll link that in the show notes. And also, there was a video this week about just how the loadout optimizer works in Dim, which I've looked at, and I'm afraid to press too many buttons because Dim's powerful and will move my gear all around. So Abby Hour has put out a video on how this all works. So we'll link that in the show notes of just, hey, perfect your build. Here's some tips, and she has some Dim tips for Hunter mains. So Hunter mains, maybe there's something special in there for you. And just a reminder, go clean your vault, get rid of stuff. It's all going away because Beyond Light is here.
I'm not. I'm just going to wait for them to forcefully take it away from me.
I know.
Then,
I know you're not, but maybe some other people are. And
it's just like I'm going to blink and it's gone, and then I'll forget about it.
What you need to do is just blindfold your eyes. Put your cursor inside your vault. Randomly spin it around and click all the page buttons, and then hold the.
Oh no!
That sounds like Vault Roulette. If someone could code up a Vault
exactly
Roulette,
what that is Vault Roulette.
You press the button and something out of your vault gets deleted.
All of your must-haves, put on your characters, fill those slots, and then whatever's left,
vault on the block. All right. Well, I think that'll take us out. And I did want to give one quick shout out to Script TK, the amazing PvPer we almost went 2v3 on. And while I was finishing my mountaintop grind this week, I was in survival freelance. And we loaded in 3v3, and then we lost the first round, and our sniper buddy pieced out on us. So I was like, well, it's 2v3. Let's see how this goes. We did take it to the final round. We did take it to overtime and lost right at the last second. So just shouts to Script TK. He got his 24 kills and 141 KD. I got my 14 kills and my 0.78 KD, but we almost got there. So,
but you got your mountaintop, and for those that missed that little tidbit, yes, Parody does finally have his mountaintop. Congrats.
Now I can have an opinion about it once I've fired it once.
I mean, now you're taking it a little far. All right.
You told me to have an opinion. I had to get it. So I went out and I got it. So now I can have my opinions.
Just to prove Respawn wrong. Oh, yeah? I need to get it? Fine, Respawn. I got you.
I got this. All right. Well, as always, friends, thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Parody and Night Demon. Your Hunters no one respawns in real life. Your lore nerd is Not Arf. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Find the show on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. You can find the show on find the show on Instagram and Facebook, Two Titans and a Hunter. Go see what fun things Night Demon puts up every week, what little fun animations he creates for us. If you need raid help, go to the Guardian Hub at Guardian Downcast or Respawn, because if you put him on the spot, he can't say no. But check out lfg.frozen.party. We're here to offer being pushed off ledges, coming up with terrible ideas for raid things after 7 hours of Volta class, and other things that you may not feel success, but you'll feel joy in your heart. You can find all your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live and Respawn on PC. Listen to the show on YouTube. Find the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. All right, boys. Say goodbye. Give your advice for Beyond Light. See you guys on the other side.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. To infinity and beyond.
For the entry, 5 raids in 6 hours, whatever platform you're playing on, let us know. We could definitely link up, man. That's not something that
Xbox.
Would be Is the Xbox? Okay, cool.
It says Xbox in a title. You read Xbox.
It doesn't matter. So let us know who you are at least, or let me know, because they know. They've read the emails. I don't know who you are. So shoot me a message or something on Xbox, and we'll see what we can do.
I will tell Respawn now that the contest is over, and we can tell him who the names are for things. And our contest winner has been emailed. Thank you for playing along. Our second runner-up, you'll be getting an email from Night Demon offering you the peaceful emblem for your second place entry if you don't have it already. And thank you all for listening. Thank you all for entering. And go leave us a review on the place if you can. If not, tell your friends. If not, tell your sworn enemies. Or if you're sitting in school, tell your school chums about it. It's all on Zoom. Tell everybody. Yeah. Tell everyone. It's all good. Change your Zoom picture to the Two Titans and a Hunter logo. That's all we ask of you.
Absolutely.
See you guys on the other side. Bye, Guardians.
Bye. Catch you later.
So keep your ears to the ground. When we hear that Arf's podcast will be out, we'll let you guys know so you can go
No, we
listen to
won't.
him.
No,
Yes, we will.
nope.
Don't be horrible.
Not gonna do it.
Shut it.
I'm not gonna send somebody to another podcast. Ours is the best one. This is the only one you need.
That's
that
why
will be
we
mentioned when they actually say, "Where introduce yourself."
see.
And he'll be
but-
like nowhere, from nowhere else, from the internet.
Yeah.
I host a podcast with Night Demon and Parody. They're called Two Titans and a Hunter.
Brilliant.